All right. Thank you, Father, for the seeing eye and the hearing ear. Many are not able to hear because they have a falls on deaf ears. You don't lift the scales from the eyes of most. Only few, oligos. Most are in another state of mind, or they see it differently. So you could maybe call it rose colored glasses they wear. Everything's all rosy. So that's not the scripture. Thanks for that. I hear what you're saying, Father, in your word. Tribulation, ellipsis. So not peace, not easy, but long suffering, tribulation. The endurance. Christ is endurance. Christ is meek, not weak. That's what he told us to be. He was meek and not weak. So he said to conform to his image, do what he did. So thank you for giving the bride an eye to see and an ear to hear, so they can not be falling asleep at the wheel, right? No, Father's steering the ship. So who's your master? Can't serve two. So you can serve yourself. That's pornea. Latria, idolatry, idolatry. It's the service of yourself, your eyes, to pull your own chain or whatever floats your boat. So we're not in the age of water anymore. So the deception is, many are called, but oligos are chosen. They can't fool the elect. It's not possible. So they'll say something about it, because it's a say something Christ. It's not a shut up and believe, like want to buy some belief here today, and you can set it on a shelf and you can believe in Jesus. You can purchase some Jesus. Well, I bought some Jesus 20 years ago. See, I put it there on the shelf. See, I believe. There's proof. Can't buy Christ. He purchased his bride from the foundation of the world. Those that will conform to his image. Those that will do what he did. Those that will suffer for his Shem. Those that will give their life for his name. Not words like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 letters, but like Yahushua, Hamashiach, or Yeshua, or Jesus, or whatever translation he said before Abraham was, I am. But he's talking about all the books under this covenant. We have to know which laws of flesh, right? None. We're not under the laws of flesh. So this is not a covenant of old. It's a testament. Remember, it was the Torah, and now it's a covenant. We're not under the law. So, not under this Aaron and Levite religious nonsense. Religion is blasphemy. He said it doesn't dwell in temples made by hands, so he dwells within the heart of the bride, on their hearts. He paid in blood. He doesn't want us to drink blood or eat human flesh. That's Masse, M-A-S-S-E, Masse. We do it by the letter and the number in here. He said, don't change a jot. You know what punctuation is? Are you punctual? So, thank you, Father, for the Hamashiach. Thank you for the one who hung. Does anybody want to hang you from a tree? He said, follow after me. So you got to do, does anybody want to stick you like some kind of animal, like they're going to eat you, like Mass A, the eating the human flesh, like Christ Mass, like their orgy, Jesus with breast. Their Jesus has breast. It's Baphomet, the god of three genders. Say they want you to come on by, so you'll give it a try. He said the Most High doesn't dwell in temples made by hands. Yeah, you're disgusting, filthy swine. Get out of here. That's disgusting. Let's get rid of that. I don't want to hear that. That was disgusting, wasn't it? People shove it in their face, whatever they can, their own Jesus. So kind of rubs you the wrong way. I make you sore, and then you gotta chew on that for a minute. Take a bite out of that. So, yuck. The yucky Jesus with breasts. Remember, their Jesus got breasts. They had an orgy with man, beast, and woman. Man on beast, beast on man, beast on woman, woman on beast. So it was a big orgy. It's called Christmas. You an idiot? You know what an idiot is? There's a difference between an idiom and an idiot. How about ignoramus? It's the same thing as idiotos. Idiotos. It means you just don't know. You don't know. They can't hold it against you. You've never heard it because you have deaf ears, or you've just never heard, or you have scales over your eyes. Your vision is clouded. You have a dark eye. The eye is the lamp of the body. That's what he told us. So remember, it's supposed to be single. Oil and water, they don't mix, dark and light. So you do you. You want to do your other orgy Jesus with breast. Apollyon, the sun god. Come on, are you that slow? Yes, all religions are deceived. He doesn't dwell in temples made by hands. The synagogues of Satan is what he called them when he was here on this rock. Remember? You've turned my father's house into a den of thieves, is what he said. Remember? And he whipped the people selling the doves because he don't like taxes. You don't like enslaving people by feeing them. You know, give unto Caesar, but not excessive and unconstitutional. How about that? This was once I know you do. You love tax, so you got to go. We'll know you by your fruit. He said, don't sup with vipers. We got a viper in here. Yep. He said, you knew I was a snake before you let me in. So, how much time you did? Did like done, or like none, like priest eat on meat on Sunday, like the penguin, black and white. None. Get it? Priest eat none on Sunday. Human flesh, Mass A, M-A-S-S-E, none. Well, I've been thrown in the clink, sure, for standing up for the Constitution. Why not? Still facing felony charges to this day. Because he said, halakha, remember what that was? Yeah. If you covet another man's wife, that is adultery, is what he said. So he doesn't like unconstitutional, is because it was a God-protected, organic, color of law, Black's law, you know, natural law, the law that's always been here, the law of the land. Are you that childish? You know, I took an oath to the Constitution, not to some stupid flag. You know what an ass is? That's somebody you can't learn. They're stubborn, like a mule, like a donkey. Not like Quixote or like Shrek, you know, like donkey, whatever. You guys believe all these little silly reindeer games and all these cartoons, television. Did you see what the Simpsons did with, they said Trump's in bed with the devil. Wait a minute, he's got his tower decorated with the Apollyon sun god. The horny god, the horny Jesus with breast, Baphomet, the one that his buddy Elon had his member of the People's Champion. He had the suit on their All Hallows Eve. He did a little dress up, you know, like, we'll put on a little masquerade. They have a little mask so they can have, you know, sex. They love their parties, rituals, masquerades. Did you do the little masquerade? Just stand on the X, go inside, flatten all the middle class businesses, curve money. You know what a power curve is? Never mind. Let's get back to the Constitution. Let's go to actually things that actually matter, not like 2 + 2 = 5 with your common core. You make no sense. Like this America, I can't. I American, you American. Remember all this money? Money is not paper. A nation that traded its minerals for paper payments. I live in such a nation that's, well, it's corporation. It's not a nation. It's not a country. It's a slave. By water, by birth. You were birthed through this canal into this. They adopted your number, remember? Billy, don't you lose my number. You remember that song? What's your straw, man? They made a movie about you there, Scarecrow. What are you, quiet, little cowardly lion? You don't want to speak up? Oh, maybe you just need some dab oil, a little dabble-do, Scooby-Doo, or whatever. Whatever. Yeah, oh, just give me a little dab oil and I'll spring into action. Too much of that dragon pen. You've been puffing on too much of that glycol. Maybe too much tap water. You've been drinking too much of that tap water, huh? Okay. I was a whole lot better when I had my beer down to here, but that's okay. I do have a V6 motorcycle out in the driveway, so I do ride bikes. So not a two-wheel thug. Remember, what's a definition of a gang? Not three-piece, that's a 1%er. But a gang is a 6 or 8 or more heavily armed group of thugs going around all armed, harassing and extorting the general public, all wearing the same color. Thin blue line. All right, moving on. A gang, remember? Living in Gangster's Paradise, remember that one? All right, whatever. I'm not going to go there. You guys like your television in your movies. You like to get tapped by the water, you know, Deception age. Hello. Drip, drop, drippity, drop, drop. Ah, never mind. I don't want to pay you no mind. I don't mind, you don't matter. It's mind over matter, so don't worry about it. He said, be not anxious. It's about the word. Amish Paradise. Weird Al, he did some pretty good songs. I do remember that. I do remember that one, but I don't remember listening to it. I did like that kind of stupid stuff a little bit, you know, slapstick kind of comedy. Many bright beacons help many people are not angels, but you know. Right. Red and white. Amen. 3-piece. 1%ers. So, I know. Grew up around that, so. I grew up in the concrete jungle, so it was around choppers. Hell's Angel Charlie, look that up. Tattoos, you know, all that nonsense stuff, all that other. California. Look up California Ralph. There you go. Look up those two. They ran California Emporium of Tattoos. So you can go from there if you like to chase the history. Just know a little bit about. I said I came from the concrete jungle, and now they're just kidnapping people off the streets. They used to use the Black Panthers, but they've used red and white, which is the angels. But angelos is the word messenger. An angel is a messenger. It doesn't. There's no wings. But never mind. What are we talking about? 2 wings or 2-wheel thug? Talking a bunch of gangs rolling around wearing a thin blue line, ripping people off the street dressed in face mask with no identification, going around the constitutional right to due process, no warrants. And the American public doesn't give up at all. Nope. You better have identification on you. How are you going to prove you're a U.S. citizen? Remember, I'm American, but I don't claim citizen or national. I have the law of the land. Remember, I'm an organic man of the soil, born of this corrupt dust. Everything you see in front of me, you, whatever, it's all going to go back to the dust. Man of the land and soil. I have rights of that. How about that? You know about those rights? Land and soil rights? Oh, what's that? Yeah. Some of us are eternal, and we know that. Well, we all are, but most of you are childish, and you don't know. You're afraid to die because you think death is a doorway. How about that? It can close or it can open. It's up to you. It's not up to me. Well, you got to get back in time, like a doorway, right? Or to the future. That'd be time overlapping itself. That's where we're at right now. The Ouroboros. like the halo. The Hell's Angels with the halo around the head. That's a devil, you idiot. There's more. There's good angels, angelos, remember? Michael. There's no Lucifer. There's no such thing as Lucifer. Where do you people come up with this word, Lucifer? That's not a word ever written in the text. So you can scratch that out of your knowledge. That's the word abyss. My people shall perish for like abyss. I'll throw them in the abyss. That's where the angel of Revelation 9 and 11, the one that Donald Trump has his house decorated with, Apollyon, Mithra, the god with 3 genders, the one with breasts that I was telling you about. Why do you think they dropped? Mr. Warp Speed, dropped 3 steel buildings with 2 airplanes so he can re-erect a 44 triangles, 4 like an ether symbol, sign up and down to create one phallic freedom. There's no such thing as free will, and there's no such thing as freedom. Da-dum-dum-dum, that's long gone. Long gone. You ever heard that song? All right, that's just part of the lyric. But anyways, I don't write the script. Father created all things, so there's no such thing as man-made. If Father created, there's makers and there is a creator. There's only one sovereign. So I speak of things that are unconstitutional because this was a protected God, whether you believe in one nation under God or not. It was protected. Rights of the law, of the land, man of the land and soil, whatever you want to call it. They call it God as a title. You're an idiot. Your God is an idiot. There's no God. I'm a veteran. That's a title, like sergeant. Or how about a brigadier general, major general, lieutenant general? We need to go through all the generals. Let's stop while we're ahead. You can call the general, you can call Shaq and slam dunk that one, huh? You can let that thing hang like Michael Jordan and have like Marvin the Martian, just slime creatures from outer space. Now these people think that you can go to the sky. Balls in the sky. Remember? Slam dunk, Michael Jordan, Shaq, pay your insurance. Where do you put your insurance? You can put your treasure up on this rock, or you could put it in a higher place. Like not in the sky, but like in the sky. He said to meet him in the sky. What does that mean? It doesn't mean above your head, you idiot. So now you know the word idiot means you don't know, right? So if I call someone an idiot in this stream, you're not going to get like a snowflake all Karen or Ken special on me, right? Like Kmart, remember the blue light? Blue lights in the rear view mirror. I know he ain't from around here. All right, anyways, you know what the Constitution is? Probably not. People don't know what the Constitution is. They don't follow it at all. Presidents can't make tariffs. That's unconstitutional. You're an idiot. Congress makes the laws, and Congress is the one who writes tariffs. I hate this country so much. I hate the sin that these people commit daily by not standing up. They're not Christ-like. Presidents don't make, that's an executive branch, and they don't make tariffs. You've forgotten your historical record. Biblical is in a book, meaning Bible, but we won't go into that because remember, one nation under God. Under this covenant, we're not supposed to be outside our border, so we've already failed this covenant miserably. So oh yeah, now we can hack your driver's license. Check this out, Carl. You're in a lot better place than me right now because in this American, they'll just apprehend anybody off the NDAA, the National Defense Authorization Act allows this government, any form, whatever they choose, to kidnap you, take you without trial, without notifying your kin, so nobody knows what, and for indefinitely detain you without a trial. Welcome to the freest nation in the world, where these people now walking these streets, well, they're out there swarming people, kidnapping people, or working for the enterprise, the corporation, the private prisons. These aren't federal agents. That's who's paying their paycheck. And Trump's doing all this. Whoever supports this, any of this stuff, is going to be held liable. You watch, they will, either by Father, or they're not going to get away with this, because I'm a veteran and I took a note to the Constitution, and I know that presidents don't make laws, and Congress makes laws, and they don't make tariffs, and they can't change the rate of tariffs. That's all Congress's job. But see, they're going along with this, and we got to void Congress. Remember, they don't do anything. So we've seen that for how long? How many administrations, regimes has there been? So this Constitution is gone. It's corporation, and these are all revised statutes that are people or crimes, committing crimes. You know, these prisons that I was telling you, these private prisons are guaranteed an 80% occupancy before they're ever built. Who do you think fills them out? These thug pigs that I was talking about earlier. I know, I've been one myself. Okay, I've done that. Shooting boot, jackboot thug, big, military boot, and thug in the army. 95 Bravo. I did it for Uncle Sam. All right, enough of this crap. This is unconstitutional. I took a note to the Constitution. Your first general order that you take as an Army veteran is do not quit your post until properly relieved. And I ain't seen one other soldier willing to step up and act like a soldier and remember who he took an oath to. Not some flag or some country, to the constitutional right of the people. Rights. Freedom. It's about the right to choose. You can take freedom and stick it up your fourth point of contact. I don't want to hear about freedom. That's long gone. So, in this country, this is supposed to be the freest nation. Why is everybody in debt? How come we're the largest debtor nation on the whole rock? There ain't no freedom. They're ripping people off the streets. Now they've been given carte blanche for go out there, and if you can't prove that you're a U.S. citizen, you don't have papers on you, you better have your papers. This is Stasi, Nazi Germany. Don't you forget where you're at right now. Yeah, you papers! You better have them, because if you leave town or you go out of town, you just go to the store maybe just to get a pack of cigarettes because you're a smoker or something. Maybe you got to get some of that bubbly. Maybe you're going to get some soda pop. Right? Some of the Coca-Cola, right? Maybe you're just going to take your kids to school and you get stopped. Can you prove that you're a U.S. citizen? That driver's license is not valid. It's not smart ID. Well, no, we don't find you in the system. Bye! How are you going to do anything about it? Remember the National Defense Authorization Act? And they're doing this now by executive order if you're homeless. It's illegal to be homeless and poor. So if you're poor, and look at what they've been doing. It's like $4.39 a gallon where I live for gas. So if you're on the streets, people don't want to have a rent or a mortgage, and now it's illegal. It's not only illegal to be homeless, but illegal to be poor in America. So this is not a good place to be. This is a very unsafe nation. So remember how this started over there in World War II. They started with the mentally ill, and that's what they said. They're going to involuntarily detain people now on the streets, whether you like it or not, if they have a mental illness. So any record of mental illness, if you've been collecting Social Security, anything like that, bam, there you go. See ya. You better watch. This population is going to start decreasing quickly. And they're driving these people out. Remember, they found people washing up shackled, and handcuffed on beaches. Yeah, imagine that. Planes going out into the ocean and turning around, not making it to Sudan. They're finding these people. Brother says, you're next on the list. Don't even act like it ain't happened in this country before. Don't act like it ain't happened in this country before. American citizens, it was the Waltons, Walmart who detained in indefinite detention. Chinese are how many? Everybody worry about Mexicans coming. How are you going to know who your enemy in America is if this is the melting pot? See what I'm saying? You're next on the list. I don't care. You're not safe because you're white and you got an ID, or you're black and you got an ID. I don't care what color you are. Neither of those are colors. I don't see color anyways, but whatever. Red, yellow, brown, whatever melanin you think that makes us, we're one race, the human race. Remember, I took a note to the Constitution. It's God-protected law. The land protects everybody. I think about everybody. I think about the things I did for this beast system, serve the beast system that's gone in and dropped freedom and democracy bombs on how many nations for 50 plus years and forced everybody to pay for oil with the US dollar. That's bull crap. 1973 brokered the Bretton Woods Agreement. No more gold and silver. Not in your money. Nope. Can't go get it for your silver certificates or gold. Nope. Stop talking about Fort Knox and putting. Remember, France came back here in 71 with their boats, large military, and said, we want our gold back. They didn't even get the gold back. 1945, remember, we're going to put all the gold in there, World War II. This feeling kind of Stasi, Nazi, German-esque here, isn't it? SS. Here we are again, brothers and sisters. You're not even safe on the streets of this country. They will take you and rip you and strip you, and nobody's going to say a damn thing. They ain't even in contacting these people's families. Many of these people who have had family members kidnapped are, guess what? They don't know where they've gone. And I told you where some of them were. They washed up ashore, handcuffed and shackled. So what makes you so special? Because you lived here your whole life? I don't care. Maybe there's something they don't like about you. Remember, during World War II, if your parents were born in a different country, you went to work in a work camp. You were born, you're an American-born citizen. You still went to work too. So don't act like this hasn't happened. You know? Shut the hell up there, you idiot. Just because you don't like history, don't sit there and catastrophizing. You're an idiot. Shut up. You don't know your history. Get out of here, child. They're already doing this to people. I'm an American Army veteran. Go fuck yourself. How about that? I'll use my First Amendment. Get the fuck out of here, you weak link. These are people. People. He said go be with the people. The people are down and the people with less. The widowed. Those people have been stepped on by foot, trodden underfoot. But you just want to kick everybody out here, don't you? You one of those, get them out of here. Drill, baby, drill. What happened to all that? How about all these MAGA idiots right now? Don't let these people jump the shark on you. You hold these people accountable. Look at what these people didn't give a crap about anybody. Voted for the dude 3 times. And now they want to jump shark? Bullshit. Hold these MAGA idiots accountable. Hillary Clinton sat at his inaugural dinner. That's how stupid these people are. 3 times they voted for this clown who's just doing everything peace. He's bombed the snot out of Iran, and they didn't bomb anybody. I rebuke this country. Disgusting, filthy nation for 50 plus years. Once again, 1973. No more. Don't worry about the gold was put in there in Fort Knox. Remember, 71? France didn't get their gold back. Richard Nixon said, oh shit, and hit the brakes. So what the hell am I? Yep. What if everybody wants it? Oh, let's create, we'll create an oil war. Yeah. Now we're going to overnight. 1973, rebrand all oil, reprice all oil with the US dollar. We're using the in a jiffy, SWIFT system like Jiffy Pop. Bam! There we go. It was on the rocks right there. Feel a little heat puffing up there a little bit. Nimrod, got your blood pumping. It's ridiculous. That's it. Everybody has to pay for oil with the US dollar. If not, we'll come drop some democracy or freedom bombs on you. Ask how Saddam Hussein, how that worked out for him. A CIA-trained operative. Yeah, worked for the CIA, trained by the CIA. Yeah, and they never did find any of those weapons of mass destruction, did they? Oh, did you ever see Libya before we went over there and bombed everything over there? What did they do to Muammar Gaddafi? I cannot wait till I do think that man has issues, but we all do. All of us fall short of the word, brothers and sisters. But that man was creating a near Garden of Eden in Africa. Just beautiful. The desalination machines, all the growing the sorghum, all that. Military veterans, just like myself, going there and just destroyed everything because he wanted to pay for something with oil other than the US dollar. Don't fool yourself. And now your tax dollars are going to kill Ukrainians, Iranians, Israel. We fund Israel. We go with how many? $4 billion or something a year to that nation? What the hell? And there's dying people on the streets of this country, and you support these mass murdering chiefs? No, it's the people that I'm telling you now, too. It's these people who keep supporting it. Hell with these people. They've never seen that movie Ants? There ain't that many of them. The government's not that big compared to the people, the masses. If 25% of the people stop playing those, TAX, putting the X stand on the X, they threw over 2% through T in the harbor. 25%, that's only 1/4 of the population. We would have no federal government. It would dry up. There'd be no way to fund it overnight. But you guarantee there's 25% of bootlickers going to keep pig lickers, pigs, people in government. Not just the clown cops that roll around, pigs who support this pig licking and boot licking government. And all these people who support it are part of the problem.
That's why it just keeps manifesting by men, not God-given natural constitutional rights. They make their own laws, and he said don't do that, especially with his word. Don't add a jot. The Constitution was supposed to be that way as well. If it did was change, if something, remember, there had to be ratification. Well, judicial, legislative, executive process from the beginning. Remember, this is not some serfdom by executive order. Presidents don't get to make tariffs. I rebuke anybody who follows that. You're a flippin' idiot. You don't know anything about the Constitution, and I rebuke you. That's why I rebuke my tour service, because I served a country of a bunch of idiots that don't even know the frickin' Constitution. They think it's a frickin' democracy. This ain't a democracy. That's mob rule. Don't you know what mob rule is? Remember that concert? Who was that one rapper where they all start going in the herd? You can't change. That's too many. Like Roadrunner going off the cliff, or like Wile E. Coyote. Once you get 451, it's over. You're off the cliff. There ain't no going back. Mob rule. 49 to 51. We only got to pay 3 of these schmucks off, and we got it in our favor. Shut the fuck up, 49%. You don't get a vote. You don't get a vote. Now we got to say you got to have a pink mohawk and wear a tutu. I don't want to hear it, 49%. Here's your razor and your pink dye and your tutu. Put it on. Shut the fuck up. Does that sound like judicial, legislative, and executive branches of our government? Not executive like King's order. That means that's what's going on when they make executive orders. That's not constitutional. It has to go through the House, the Congress, and the Senate. This was a constitutional republic. Notice, hence the word was. So, if it's not adjudicated, legislated, it doesn't go through the executive, all the House, the Congress, the Senate. All of our branches, all the way at the top, like the Supreme Court, it's not constitutional, brothers and sisters. It's not. And it says in the Constitution it's repugnant. And if the government passes something like this in our Bill of Rights, it says it's not only the right of the people to overthrow this tyrannical government with well-regulated militias, our First Amendment right to peacefully assemble, redress grievances, heavily armed with the Second Amendment, and then to overthrow them. First ballots, then bullets. Notice the First Amendment comes first, the Second Amendment comes second. It's like they knew what they were doing. They wrote about these banksters that are, these ivory towered, 8 families that are still ruling this for thousands of years and warned of the Constitution of them taking over from the beginning, but you don't know your rights. Remember Declaration of Independence, Bill of Rights, and the Constitution of remember? We have a House, a Congress, and a Senate. This isn't some king's rule. This isn't a democracy. Voting was part of the process of our original constitutional republic, but this is not a democracy. And if you walk down the street and you ask people, 49 or 51% of the people said this, and I don't give a crap what it is. The other 40 is okay, well, 51 said, so I got to just shut the hell up if I'm the 49. That's called democracy, and we don't live in a democracy. But that's what they got going. It's serfdom by executive order. That's King's law. Congress makes the law. Congress makes tariffs. Go look back in history. That's who makes the tariffs. Go read your Constitution. Go read the Bill of Rights. Go read the Declaration of Independence. It's from the duty of the people, not just the right to overthrow this government. This one, the last one, the one before that, all these regimes, since we went over with these oil wars. And there's one man who's solely responsible for it. The guy that paid for the baby oil in Hollywood, the big bath party. Mr. On trial now. Oh, will he be on trial? No, he's going to go to jail. Like, look at all that stuff that Elon Musk did. Remember all these people that stole all this money? Did any of those people ever go to jail? Never seen anybody go to jail. Oh, when pedos and politicians, the documents can come missing. Come on, man. Nobody's going to jail. It's a big show. Oh, did you see me? Did you see my drive? It was all straight. This is all ridiculous, and people love it. They love being entertained by these poly, meaning many, and tick, meaning bloodsuckers. Many bloodsuckers are in on it, too. So he doesn't want us to drink blood. Remember? Sucker, little lollipop. Like a lollipop. Yeah, you love your little rappers, your little Wayne. Continue to rap something, huh? Too much your little dragon pen. That's what you got going. Sucking on that electric dick is what you're doing. Well, whatever, you call it whatever you want. Some of us call it a First Amendment right, and we use it. That's what he did. He stood up. Remember, they had perverted the law. Halakha Haggadah. If you don't know that, then you don't know Jesus Christ at all. Get out of my chat. Don't ever come back until you know those two terms. You don't know the Hamashiach if you don't know the words halakha or Haggadah. You know nothing about Christ. You fell for some other gospel, some other religion, some other Jesus. He doesn't dwell in temples made of the word. He said, before Abraham was I am. That makes him the word. The beginning was the word. This is all spoken like air, breath, pneumatics. Press, do you feel a little press? That's the word theologo, to be pushed on both sides. Theolobos. Theolobos, noun and verb. You study any of these things, see he is the word. Word to her play tricks on your nerves. So, whatever it says in Genesis, if it bears seeds, it's here for us to consume. It's not what goes in a man or a woman that comes out of it or in us under this testament, because it's not riches, it's not celebrations, it's not how much you do or don't do, or it's about conforming to his image. It is about what you do. It's not about belief. Belief is an action word. It's a verb. Word to verb, word to her, word to the word believe. He said, girded in my service. Remember? Yeah. They drink of a mead. Remember? That made them hallucinate. I'm not into none of that, but this word's already out of control. I look around, it's like living in some alternate reality. Truly, as I look around and everybody's believing in that other, they can believe a thought in their head, like they can believe in Bigfoot or believe in Jesus. You can't believe in Jesus. That's not what the word believe means. You're an idiot. Grow up. Didn't you go to school? Oh, you got stung by the spelling bee, didn't you? They started spelling curses on you. Oh, wait, you started writing curses in cursive, didn't you? Wait, they don't even write in cursive. All they do is poke at everybody now, right? Well, they do that with everything now, right? Here, stand in line. Get a cheat test. It's a free test. Stand on the line. Yeah, we'll stick it in your nose. This is how they vaccinate cattle. 1, 2. I'm on a farm, right? I'm a Silver Rock Ranch. 3. This is how they vaccinate sheep. 4, 5. They like to stick them. Penetrate their mucous membrane. Mucus, well, your sinuses. Remember pneumonia, that's your lungs. Air, you want to go, never mind. Father, forgive them. They wear the rose-colored glasses. They think God's in the sky. They think it's 2025. It's not 2025, idiot. You're a lunatic. Get out of here. I don't sup with vipers and lunatics. People who go by wheel worship, with the wheel or the mass A. Go take your transgender Jesus somewhere else. Your God's in the sky. Your sky daddy Jesus. That's what you go after. You're religious. No, I don't care what your denomination. Demonion is a distributor of fortunes or lies. Denomination, demonion. Kind of the hados. That would be in the same narrow way. Like equals, not equal rights. Whatever. Rights, that's what it's about. Yeah, to choose or not. Won't encroach on a man's rights if he's not doing anything. Leave him alone. See? That's not the way it works. They got feelings police now. Remember, if you're an advocate of the Second Amendment, which you have the right under the Constitution, and you open carry, they'll come kidnap you. Literally violate the right of due process, take your weapon from you, accost your weapon, accost you, arrest your wrist, arrest your body from some call. Jesus Christ, you again. Oh, okay, good. Get out of here. Block me. Don't ever come back. I'll block you. Don't worry about it. Get out of here, child. I don't sup with vipers. Oh, now I'm a scumbag. Oh, good, Gary Coleman. His name's Gary Coleman. That's pretty silly. So, here, let's unhide him. See why I'm. Why I'm a scumbag. Hey, Gary, why I'm a scumbag? I just unhid you so you can speak your peace. Peace, Jesus. Those who say peace and safety, sudden destruction to come upon those who call out for peace and safety. So, Coleman, speak up like stove. like flint, like light the fire. Speak up, you're a child. Why am I a scum? Like flushing meadows, like drain the swamp. I hate to break it to you, you are the swamp. Remember those who say peace and safety, sudden destruction? Wah, wah, wah. Oh, dum, da, dum, dum, dum. How about that? You like that one? You have anything else to say there, Gary? Like Indiana or like the snail on Under the Sea? Well, SpongeBob. Are you absorbing anything? Are you, is that what you're just doing, sitting there like a sponge now? All right. I think that was, I've never watched a whole episode. I know just from watching blogs. So Gary can't say anything. I'm all I can do is just go one day at a time. I had to give up the gold and silver to get an attorney, but that's okay. I want to know where my son's at, and I still don't know. So inside I'm dying, but that's okay. Father makes it difficult on all of us, some of us a little more than others. So if I could just know if my son was alive or dead, I could probably feel a little bit better, sleep, you know, do things without, yeah, it's had a little bit of effect, but what can you do? All things after his own counsel. He knows what he's doing in his own pleasure, and especially time. I don't understand his timeline, but that's where his biggest qualm, I'm sure, is going to be with me, because he always, in the end, the treasure awaits. So he always comes through. So much I trust and have faith in my love. So yes, so I did pay, but so yeah, they sent another hearing date, but I guess I moved forward, but I didn't move forward because I want to know where my son's at. So this whole thing is about him, you know what I'm saying? And his rights, his constitutional rights, that they're encroaching on his right to due process, like they're, you know, already had they put him in jail once already illegally. So he has the right of affirmative defense to protect himself from illegal prosecution. So he's not doing anything illegal right now. So he still has all the evidence, and they have the burden of proof, the preponderance, you know, to prove beyond a reasonable doubt. So it is what it is. What in the hell are you talking about? Edward, meaning they can't use this like it's schizoaffective disorder. Wow, that's pretty heavy there. Schizoaffective. And I have had CLEAT certification on how to identify mental illness, how to identify and actually deal with the general public on mental disabilities. And I've never heard of schizoaffective disorder. I think you're making that up, Edward Scissorhands. I think you chopped that one up there. Well, choppers, you know, put holes. You got holes in your story there, child. Go away. Girl, don't go away, man. Just go away. Gonzalez, Speedy, whatever. Don't speak Revelation. You are not Revelation.
I am Revelation. I am Apocalypse. You're not a snatcher. You're not. I minister. I am a living apocalypse. I am a living revelation. Are you that book? You know those words? Are you walking in those words? Here, body snatcher. Sound like some movie. Television. You know nothing of revelation. Tell me the definition of revelation. Right now, Mr. Scissorhands, chopping it up. Chopping up. He said don't add or take away or twist or change. Tell me what it means, revelation. Now, child, speak up. Body, flesh, mammon, Jezebel, Nephilim, other Jesus. Speak up. You're slow to the type poker. You're a child, and I'm toying with you. You can't even define, so get out of here. Don't come back. Don't let the door hit you where the good Lord, that means master, and you can't serve two, Mammon and the Most High, split you. He said, do not think I came bring to bring peace. I came to bring a sword of division. Horizo, not scorpizzo, you idiot. So define the words or get out of here. I'll give you one more, just once, because I 2 times. And then he said, don't sup with vipers. Swine, you're low energy. You stink. I can smell you like a hog from a million miles away. I said, define the word apocalypse now or leave, Mr. Scissorhands. Give me the Greek word for the word truth. Now you've got to answer 2 questions. You got a pop quiz when you came in here because you can't define anything. First, apocalypse. I said revelation. They have the same definition. I like that. And then give me the Greek word for truth. It's not in you. You're a child. So look at his answer for the definition, brothers and sisters. Look at this idiot's answer. So you can't define revelation. You're making an ass out of yourself now. You know what that word means? Ass, Edward? You're making an ass. It's for somebody who can't be learned. They have an unwillingness. They're stubborn like a mule, like a donkey. Remember we were speaking about that earlier? I'm not sure, like Quixote or like Shrek, you know, in the little animated movie there in the swamp or whatever. You can't define anything. You're a translator. You probably go after some transgender god, some Baphomet Jesus. Yeah, you little orgy sex pistol. Let me see your decamites, a stick up. So you don't know what I'm talking about because you don't have any definition. The word's not on your heart. So go now. Okay, there we go. What an idiot. Come in here and you're not revelation. You have no idea. How about bow, you idiot? Bow. Bow. Give me that term. B-O-W, bow. How does that refer to the word revelation? How do those two hados? I am the aletheia. That is the word truth. I asked him what the word truth meant. He couldn't give me the Greek word. That is the word. He said, I am the hados, I am the aletheia, and I am the divider. I am the separator of the dark and the light, the day and the night. I am the separator. Do not think I came to bring peace. I came to bring a sword of division. Do not condemn them. I will separate the wheat from the chaff. I will divide. Not scorpizzo, the one that causes the sheep to scatter the flock. That is the word false teacher. And if you add even a jot to his book, you're a false teacher and the very first person that he deals with when he comes back in that book of the apocalypse that I love so much. Don't add to his word or take away. He said, thought is the word pornea, your own words, your own law, your own Jesus. Paul said, another Jesus. Speak up, right? It's a speak up Jesus, not some sit down one day Sunday other Jesus fun day in a church pew. Something stinks in here. One of you are religious. Get out of here now. You put a denomination, the word demonion is a demon. That's the word devil, and that never was written in the text. Devil. There's no such thing as a devil. You're an idiot. There's no such thing as Lucifer. There's no such thing as a planet. Father didn't create aliens. There's no aliens. Alien is a word. You're an idiot. Grow the fuck up. God's in the sky. Here we go again. Balls in the sky. This is exactly why Father divorced his bride, Israel, and that was Jacob. Remember, a man who he loved, who he later gave the inheritance to and called Israel. It was the 12 tribes. That's a place in the desert. That's not what Israel in the book of Revelation. So you might want to grow up supporting this genocide. I know I serve this beast system. That's why I speak up about it. Because somebody's got to do it. Remember, it says, do not quit your post until properly relieved. I ain't seen not one person talking about this. I'm the only one that's telling you we're not supposed to be serving outside of our own borders. Although we can defend meek, not weak, we do not have, he used to have a favorite, a heavens, where no weapon formed against you shall prosper. Your enemy will come against you one way, and I will make them flee 7 ways. He said, if you love me, if you agape me, no fiery darts will penetrate your armor. God required war. God required sacrifice. God only loved his house of Aaron and the Levitical tribe, Levite, one branch, like family tree. Everybody else was a Gentile, and he didn't love them. He don't love everybody now. Just because he said he'd save all flesh, that means all flesh, all 180 countries on this rock, not some place middle of the desert, you idiot. 144,000, 12,000 from each of the 12 tribes. Just like the Hados, the parable. Notice he didn't say 1201. From Judah, 1201 from Jeremiah. Because we didn't succumb to idolatry. And Gad, now you get 11,999. Remember? And Ham, you get to... No, he said 12,000 from the 12 tribes, fulfilling the covenant of all flesh. What other pastor has given you that, ministered that apocalypse document that we are under, right? It's a contract. It's, right? I'm not under the law, just so you know. It's a bride contract. My name will be called out in that book. It's like two pieces of paper, like two with the same number that gets put in the bowl. You've been smoking something else out of that bowl. Flour, glass, whatever. Seriously, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. When he calls your name out, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, he does it by the number. That's me! That's what that paper, that's paper that I'm talking about. Yeah, and there won't even be a piece of paper. It's a spiritual piece of contract, isn't it? Thank you, Nathan. Get a little off on that paper. Well, remember book, written on in a book, Bible? It's on the hearts of the bride, and it's spiritual. Hallelujah. Thank you for bringing me back where I'm supposed to be. Because he said, wrestle not against flesh. We're not under flesh. Although it's a paper, I want you to know it's a contract. It's not a law. The law was fulfilled. He said that. So we're now, remember, he was the testor of that will. He's the one who filled that out by hanging himself from a tree. Literally. Remember? That's why he didn't say anything about being from Nazareth. And in blood, too. Remember? They wouldn't have hung him if he was from Judah, right? But no, he was Jesus of Nazareth, because nothing good could come of Nazareth. Those are the Nordic tribes, brother. This is northern, like Samaria, Samaria, all these northern tribes that went after these Baal gods. Yeah. Christ was, remember the Star of David. David was from Bethlehem. Christ was born of Bethlehem. It was the Star of Bethlehem, remember? Not the Star of Christmas or the Star of Nazareth. It was the Star of David, because David was born of Bethlehem as Christ was born of Bethlehem. Right? Correct? The Star of Bethlehem. There's no Christmas star. There's no Nazareth star. So he was born of Bethlehem. Okay? Remember, he was the lion from the tribe of Judah. Remember, Leo in the celestial firmament, the scepter shall not depart from Judah. Leo. The lion, Disney mocks him, calls him the Lion King. Well, they don't mock. Well, they mock Christian idiots. They mock Christian idiots because they don't know. They do this in all the movies. There's no such thing as a conscience. You don't have a conscience. It's called Ruach HaKodesh. Spirit. Holy Ghost. There's no such thing as ghost. Don't start thinking like Ghostbusters. Here we go. We're going to lock you in a box, you little slime lizard or whatever your old slime creatures from outer space. Are you Marvin the Martian? Now you're floating around here on this rock and you're like a booger is what you are. That reminds me of, what's that movie? Revenge of the Nerds. Remember Booger? All right, anyways. He was the guy who was kind of weird. He the one who drank the beer and he had the biggest burp. But anyways, Booger, you know what I was talking about if you watched We've Got the Bush. Remember? Pan down. Pan down. All right, stop it. That wasn't even good. I didn't do a very good interpretation of the movie. Hey, I can watch some of the old movies. Threw my TV away in 1991 or 2, I think it was. One or, yeah, whatever. I discovered something that was shaped like a fish. It smelled a little fishy, so couldn't watch a box anymore. Well, they call it a box, but not the same box. All right, Jack in the Box. Boing. All right. What's poppin'? Remember? We got a clown show going on in here, huh? Boing. We should do that with Donald Trump popping out. Who's going to be the first one to make the clown thing? Remember, with Donald Trump pop out of it. Go do it now. You can send the ministry royalty checks. I don't want anything. You can keep it to yourself. We don't need your money. We don't make money off of Trump. That'd be awesome. Remember the box? Boing! And then Trump could pop out and he'd have a clown face. Be awesome, man. And he could still do an orange. He could just have his big orange face. It looks pretty clown. You just put a red clown nose on or something. And what do you think?
Anyone? Come on, do it. And it'd have a big floppy do and then come up. It's better than a bobblehead. It's Hillary's that's the bobblehead. Nobody wants to help me out. Come on, somebody contact Mattel. We got to do the wind-up Trump toy. They probably already got one. They probably do. Somebody probably made one of those, didn't they? Somebody look it up. Did they make a wind-up Trump, whatever, the Jack in the Box? Instead, he's crack in the box, whatever. Crime in the box, or Satan in the box. Satan in the abyss. That's where we go. Jack in the abyss. The box. Jack in the abyss. Trump in the abyss. Box. There we go. No. I just don't remember. I have my shirt up, but it's hot. You can see I'm sweating in here. It's probably almost. But sun is baking today, and it's actually a little muggy today because there's a little bit of moisture in there, so it feels a little more warmer than usual. So this is my new ones. Those are my two newest ones that I haven't gone back and got anymore. The two kings. Revelation 3:11, I come quickly, let no one take your crown. So, but I think, does anybody have a chump in the box or jump in the abyss box or whatever you call those? Jack off, jackable, Jack. Like Jack in the Box, because he's the Joker. He's a Gemini Joker, so he could be a Jack. You can really call him Jack or Jack off. Or if you spin it, then he comes out or off, whatever. Up. He springs up. You can get yourself off. Well, whatever. It'll freak you out. Out, off, up, whatever. We got to come in all directions here. You got to go in circles till it pops. It's like a crowning moment, if you will. I don't know the. So, do you think that'd be a hit? That'd be a #1 seller, and you could put MAGA on it or something. So, anyways, hold these MAGA idiots accountable, brothers and sisters. Please hold the MAGA idiots accountable. Even though some of these people are jumping shark, hold them accountable. Say, hey, look, man, you sat there, you didn't care about anybody, or you voted for him 3 freaking times. This man just destroyed everything he touches. He's some peace president, and all he has done is war. He's not at all what he says one thing and he does something completely different. He's a Gemini. That's why there's 2 jokers in a deck of cards. That's what he represents, the Gemini. So please be aware that we are coming back, just so you know, according to, and I wouldn't do this for no reason. It's not going to be the end of the world. You guys, please don't do this, but there's some special things that happen on this rock, and, if you're a witness, then you're blessed because you have a celestial eye or a spiritual eye. And we are going to be coming back to where we were, like a Gemini. And that's what Jupiter is going to be coming back into Gemini, brothers and sisters, where when we started this tetrad blood moon, sisters, this started through the stars. And I don't these blood moons on my body. I didn't tattoo this stuff. Go ahead, Taco. With the Revelation 12 sign and then the Star of David and again, all these signs that have happened over these last, 2004 and 11 years, brothers and sisters. We are on August 12th. We're going to go right back to where we were at, brothers and sisters. I didn't tattoo this on my, we saw the great red dragon, Revelation 13, the Revelation 12 sign, the red dragon eclipse. Look at all these star markers, brothers and sisters, that my body has been marked with, so I could be a witness, so that when Father comes, send Shiloh back, he'll go, oh, okay, you were looking, I made you a Magi, and I sent you to declare the line to get ahead of Trump, to, blow the horn and sound the trump of this new age, revelation, apocalypse, and go back in time and that has happened again, that they've missed again, so they can see the hados, that it's in the same narrow way. Now, we've seen markers again in this time that I'm telling you that we didn't see at the time of Christ, but he spoke of thousands of years ago that would happen, and most of you didn't, and that's okay, but you weren't a witness. Like, I can guarantee you 1% of the populace right now And I don't care if they're religious or not. And I'm going to hold the religious idiots more accountable that Star of David, that same star marker, a star upon a star, well, actually out here in the desert, but a star upon a star, it's like an eclipse, if you will, happened between 2 and 3 BC, and it birthed a whole new age, from fire to water, the age of deception, where this is the age of water fish, Pisces. This is the age where Christ was birthed. When Christ was birthed, we went into the age of deception with the church and Constantine and the rebranding of the deadly head wound. And now we're not in that age of deception, because the age of the veil, putting over by the churches over 2,600 years, is lifting and being lifted. That's why I am Apocalypse. That's why I am Revelation. I don't say that for no reason. You know what I'm saying? I don't say that. That's who I am. I live that book. I live those markers, Psalms 19, that are declared on the line. I've taken time to make sure that I've dressed myself with this armor to know that no fiery darts, you've seen, and I'm not saying I'm some kind of superhero, get grenaded to the face and I shouldn't even be able to speak and have conversation. My ears should be so whacked that my speech shouldn't be proper like it is. My vision, although I have scarred and marred probably my retina from that, but I still can speak. I still can see. My hearing, I hear like a robot, but I can still hear. So I'm blessed. And I know that part of what I'm here to do is, until the very end, is endure. And Father has my day of death already written. So I know that a lot of people don't like it when people like myself speak up about, things that the whole world's missing these things. And these were the things that birthed an age, birthed Christ. And we happen to see these again. These things were spoken by Christ himself, that spoke of these star markers in the celestial firmament that would happen, and the mechanics that it took, like the Revelation 12, the 13 sign. And I've shown you guys, I've gone through this in thousands of hours now on this, High Desert Faith and Truth and Predestined for Light channel, that this has been done over and over and over. I have just beat the living crap out of this internet with as much time as I could possibly, put in, and still have some kind of life in the flesh, and still try to produce out here this ministry of what I'm, hopefully Father is going to continue. I feel comfortable, like I said, I have an attorney now. Is it going to fix everything? We'll see. It's not up to me, it's up to Father. But I know, like I said, if I stay the word and I keep looking up and I see these star markers, I already know, again, something Christ spoke about that's in the book happened in our lifetime, and 99+% of the world doesn't even know it happened. There's been more than one sign of Revelation. We saw Revelation 12, and they don't always happen back to back like that, but they actually literally happened back to back, and saw Revelation 12 and then 13 in our own time. And this is not, the stars can be corrupted. This is an actual celestial firmament marker. The mechanics of the two Revelation 12 and 13 sign were unfathomable, what it took to create those two celestial firmament markers. And I don't know anybody that knows about those. I know I'm the only one. And I don't care, like I'm special. There's only one man that has the Revelation 12 sign tattooed on his body. I don't think anybody even understands the mechanics and how that worked and what it represented. And this is the most beautiful sign, the birth of the Virgin, the birth of Christ in the celestial firmament. He gave that sign to John at the island of Patmos. He said first there would be, first he would be birthed. He's birthed in the flesh. He, born of Bethlehem, right? The Lion from the tribe of Judah, the King, the Lion, and they knew that. Remember, that's why Herod was having the firstborn child, killed, because they knew the king was going to be born. It was birthed in the stars. So you saw star markers that happened at the time of 2 and 3 BC that actually birthed Jesus Christ, birthed the HaMashiach, birthed I Am, birthed Elohim, birthed the Most High in flesh. There was a star marker. It was the Star of David. And then the Shiloh sign, which severed. I don't know anybody else that talks about this either. And why this is so important, that it severed the head as Father as the judge, and Christ became the high priest of the church, not Aaron and Levi, because we're not under the law. He will stand there at judgments and say, no, Father, remember, I have their sins of the world covered. Remember, because under the Old Testament, one sin was death. You rip Christ down from that covenant, from that tree he hung from, and that yoke, that stock that he carried to be lifted, then you rip him straight back down and you take that away. And you put yourself under the God of Aleth, fire, wrath, war, fee, fine, ritual, death under one sin. Whether venial or mortal, you can commit sin in your head. If you covet, remember, another man's wife, that is adultery. So, you know, that's very important to me as a Magi, to make sure that I am aware and that I declare these celestial firmament markers. Again, this was declared not only by myself, that I'm declaring what it says in the book. And it says, look, guys, it says, this is what it says. This is what Christ said. He said, remember, he visited John at the island of Patmos, where the gold mines were at, right? Out in the Great Sea, out there at the islands. They didn't know what to do with John. Remember, there were two Johns. There was John the Baptist. I'm talking about John that they sent to the island of Patmos. Christ visited John at that island, at the gold mines, and they, you know, and he gave them that message, that revelation, that apocalypse of the sign of, remember, it should be a great sign in the firmament, the virgin clothed with the sun, the moon at her feet. She will be, you know, in labor, travail, in birth, in pain, and she will have a crown of 12 stars upon her head. It was the Shiloh sign when Jupiter moved to Leo and stopped at the wise men. Remember, there was not 3 wise men. There were many wise men, and they were called Magi, okay? The Magi knew the star markers. They knew which markers were in the celestial firmament and how to read them and what they mean. And that's why I'm trying to tell you what these star markers mean today. You've missed things that Christ spoke of thousands of years ago that he said would happen. So remember, it's when Jupiter conjuncted with the morning star. Not Lucifer is not the morning star. Venus is the morning star, okay? He said there would be signs in the stars. So remember, so when Jupiter conjuncted with Venus, this was what the wise men were watching. This is what they were watching. They were watching Jupiter. When it conjuncted it with the morning star, this was known as the Star of David. Okay? This is the Star of David. Then Jupiter went to opposition, which is very strange and not normal for that, and it moved and it stopped to the head of Leo, pointing at the head of the new high priest of the church. The scepter shall not depart. He's the one who holds the scepter, the inheritance to the church, the inheritance to the heirs, to the king. The king, remember, to the heirs, kingdom. The meek will inherit the earth. The meek inheritance. And inheritance is because you rule. You're a king. Get it? Heirs. They receive their inheritance. Error. He was the testor of that will. He made, somebody's got to die, and somebody receives the prize. Well, that's your prize, Christ. That's his, right? Yeah, that's what you're shooting for. That's why you're here. That's what it's all about. He's supposed to be your prize. I don't like Arabs. What do you mean? Arabs. God's bride is everywhere. You know, there's no denomination, and I don't do races, so don't start being a racist in here. I'll throw you out of here. I take this call. Hold on. I take this call. Hold on. Hold on. Oh, I have 2 people hanging to the left. Oh, everything you own in the box to the left. Apologies for the interruption here. I'm going to eat my pizza while you gather back in here. Hi, girl. I hear you there, kitty girl. What you doing, kitty girl? What you doing, girl? What you doing, kid? Apologize for the interruption there. I need some pizza. Pizza. Went to Don't normally eat fast food. We got some Domino's today. I'm gonna shot go. All messages. Hey, Elsa was in here. All right. I don't know who else is in here now. Maybe we'll just restart the stream. Maybe we'll do that. We'll restart the stream. All right. Oh, maybe we got some more people coming in here. Hold on, they'll pile back in. Hold on, let me eat my pizza here. Hi, girl. Hi, pretty gifting girl. Coming back in, puppy dog. We weren't out there very long. You get a little pizza bone. I went and got a pizza today, so I gave them a little nibble. They don't get people food. No people food for the puppies. They eat better than I do. You'll be all right. Dad loves the bone. I want the bone. Get up here. Come here. Get up here. There we go. Come hang out with Dad for a minute. Come hang out with Dad for a minute. I love you. Need some Dad time. I know Dad was gone, huh? Dad was gone today. I missed a bubble. I missed my bone. Bone thug. Are you the bone thug? Oh, such a good boy. He's such a good kid. He's my boy. What are you whining about out there, girl? What are you whining about, girl? I hear you. It's windy out there, huh? Can I get my arm around you now? Can I have my arm back? So, the kitty's out there. Oh, let me see what she's cutting it up. What are you cutting it up about? Good boy. What are you whining about, sweetheart? What? There's water and you got food out there. You gonna come inside with Dad? You gonna come inside? Come on, girl. I know you don't want to come in here ever anymore. You don't want to come inside. You just lay there. I love you, girl. You're my special gifted girl. You're the only girl that I have. Come here. Come here, girl. Come inside for a minute, B. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come inside. Come hang out. You don't want to hang out inside. I know. You did that last time. I see that? She stuck her head in the wind. She stuck her head in there, and then she comes, and then she doesn't want to come inside. She doesn't want to come inside anymore. I don't know why. She's come in here and hang out on the couch and sleep and lay down. I bet she should come in during the winter time. She's smart. She's enjoying her time outside. I love you, girl. I hear you. Oh, I love you too, big guy. I love you too, big guy. I love you too, my biggest. You're scratching me with your big old paw. You're scratching me with your big old paw. I love you. That's just, I think that's Yasher. Oh, my boy, he missed the dad today. He missed the dad. He misses dad. He misses dad. He's a good boy. He's a good boy. Oh, scratch my leg. Oh, scratch me. Oh, what a good job. What a good guy I have. What a best puppy I ever did have. Oh, there's a guy. He just missed a dad. Oh, he missed a dad. Oh, missed a dad. Oh, he was a dad. What are you doing over there, Mr. Beater boy? You trying to sneak your way over here? Hey. They love the dad. You just push Tango right out of the way, you old silly goose. He's like a wedge. He is. He could just wedge his way into anything. I think he could probably split those two boards right apart with his nose. He is so strong. He's the strongest, one of the strongest dogs I have ever had. Tango's got 50 pounds on this dog, I think. And he pushes hard, huh? With that nose. With the nose. He's got a nose because I'm a dingo. I'm a dingo. I'm my dad's dingo boy. Hey, you go over there and nanny him? Pants. Leave him alone, silly goose. I got the best puppies in the world. I do. I got the best puppies. See how awesome they are. You're a good boy. So, all right. Well, I went to town today and did the passport thing, which was good. I'm glad to get that done. I didn't know that you could pay a little bit more and had it sent. Oh no! I let a fly in here. Oh man! You guys can't stand you go in and out. You guys are the reason why I get flies in the house more than ever. There's food out there, girl. Come on, go out the damn door. Come on, I don't want to hear the fly. You have to wait a minute till I get the fly out of here. I don't know where it went. Where'd the fly go? Here somewhere. Got it. Bingo! All right, got it. I can't do flies. Got the dogs in. Darn it. One of them came in the house. So I can't do flies. Flies are my kryptonite. I don't mind if I'm outside. You know, it's not that big a deal. Whatever flies might land on, but inside in the house, I don't want flies in my house. So no flies. We've got the big metal security door so they can't get in the house. But if we open the door, they'll normally go fly right on the door and just open up the door and they fly right out. So I don't always have to smash them. I really like to smash them, but it's okay if some of them get away. Just don't come back here ever again, you flies. So I've lived in places where it's hard to get the flies or mosquitoes away. So it's nice here. There's just not, this year's been pretty mellow too, with it being summer. And we haven't had 100-degree day out here yet. So shouldn't say that because that'll probably happen. But so far it's been a pretty mild summer. I mean, it's hot right now, but that's okay. Yeah, I just like smashing them. I shouldn't be like, holy crap, that's a little too bright. So is it? Yeah, a lot of places it's 100 back east. People get a pretty good heat wave back east down. Yeah, it's been mild. I'm telling you, this freaking valley is it's like a paradise in its own sense as far as the weather has just been superior here. Just been super mild as per how it's been, 10 years ago. That was different. We did go under that heat dome when everybody went under the heat dome here, but that's the last time we had 100-degree days. The first 6 years I was here, they didn't have any 100-degree days, and this is a desert. They get 100-degree days often, but it's a dry desert heat, so it's much better it's not sticky. There's no moisture in the air. So not a lot of mosquitoes around here, although there's bodies of water nearby. So it's nice to have, when I first came here, I not kidding, that you would not get anything but flies on fly paper if you had, it was heavy, and put out one of those little things or something. And through the years, we've got more moisture. I mean, this desert is greening more and more every year, more and more moisture, just moderate too, though. Not like big, heavy dumps of it out here too, which is nice. But now you got, 15, 20 different bugs. When I first came out here, the only thing out here was flies and ants. Flies and ants. Nice. Yeah. So, and that's not like that anymore. I mean, we'd randomly have some other, but very seldom. And like I said, a pretty good indicator of that would be fly paper. If you have those little fly strips or whatever, they kind of tell you what you catch over time. You know what I'm saying? So it was really nice when I first came here, because really that's all there was. Ants, hardly any spiders. I mean, there's spiders, but not a lot. There are no snakes where I live, and I'm in a desert. There's snakes that people see them. I've only ever seen one snake in 10 years. It's just a little gardener snake over by where, and it wouldn't be there anymore because they had that pivot that would spray that thing over, spray it, fill it with water. So, oh man, that sounds good. I'm going to Linda's house tonight to eat. Man, I like beef, especially meatloaf. Meatloaf's so yummy, especially if it's not 1,000-cal burger and it's good beef, like some chuck. I make mine with chuck. I like a chuck loaf made from chuck steak. Chuck meatloaf is kind of a treat. You got to add more, I like to add more things like, I tend to add more celery and, whatever. Everybody has a different meatloaf, whatever they put in there. Some people put breadcrumbs. I like to put onions and celery and garlic and pepper, and I put a little bit of the ketchup in with the meat, but not much, because that helps soften that chuck up a little bit, but don't put too much because it'll make it, you'll lose it. It'll go away. So ketchup's a demon, but it tastes so good because it's sugar. It's like drinking a soda without the carbonation. Do me a favor, get a picture of a soda content in a clear can or like a bottle, and take a ketchup and tell me they're not any different. They're the same. Sugar sauce. That's why it tastes so awesome. It is, man. I'm not gonna lie to you. Take a soda can and look at the content of soda and look at the content of ketchup. It's the same thing. They're near almost identical. It's like soda without the carbonation. That's what ketchup. So the next time you use ketchup, it's like drinking soda. Well, the sugar content, at least that, so you know. People, no way. Yeah, that's why it tastes so darn good. Nice. Good stuff. Yeah. Stuffed peppers, like red, or I like doing the red and the yellow and the orange instead of doing the green. And the green are good. And I have made, when I made both or all of them, I like the stuffed peppers. Heck yeah. They're a good pocket. So you can stuff them with all kinds of goodies. You gotta make smoked peppers. Smoke those bad boys in a smoker, and before I put pork, beans and coleslaw on top. Do them that way. You put the coleslaw at the end, but smoke the whatever. You can use pork. I like to do beef because I don't eat pork anymore, but I'll do brisket, make a brisket and stuff that pepper with brisket and barbecue, and don't put the barbecue sauce on the meat. Put it on top, and then put beans on the bottom, put meat, then put another layer of beans, put sauce, a little bit of sauce in between each one of those, and then smoke that bad boy in a smoker. And you already done your meat, and then put coleslaw on top of that and drizzle barbecue sauce over that coleslaw. And get at that for a stuffed pepper. That's how you want to stuff a pepper. So I make them a bunch of different ways, but that's one of my favorite ways to do them, like barbecue style, smoked peppers. You know what the hardest part about smoking a pepper? Just like a trout, keeping them lit. No, just kidding. So, heck yeah. Oh man, I got to get my fishing license here soon. I don't care if it's even the end of the year. I need to go fishing. I ain't gone fishing in a dozen years. So, I'll have to get that sooner or later. Go take and throw a pole in the water. Go catch some fish and smoke some trout. I love smoked trout, especially if they're native and they've got real nice, red meat like salmon. You get native brook or cutthroat, or I'll throw a brown trout back. I only sport fish, but if I was definitely going to take some home to smoke, I would. I turn back brown trout. I don't catch and release only. So I know some people take them home. I don't. I only would never take a brown trout out of the water and take it home and eat it. It needs to stay in there and get bigger, be a big brown trout. So, but anyways, I was thinking about doing that, and because I love smoking, maybe I'll have to do that. I want to make some, and you can do the same thing. You can make that same recipe and smoke that meat, and then take and put that in there, and smoke that pepper with that. Sort of another fly. Uh-oh, where'd that one come in from? Probably because I got some holes in the window. Okay, but those are really good. The peppers with trout and coleslaw. I don't put the beans in there, but I just do it that way, and they're really good. Oh, crap. I gotta get this fly, guys. I don't know where this fly came. Probably come, like I said, I got my windows completely taped up. Every once in a while, someone sneak in there. I see. Come on, where you at? Where'd it go? Where's the fly? Where did it go? Where'd it go, Tuggy? I heard it. All right, I'll sit down and it'll start buzzing around again. Go. I heard it again. It's on my left side. Where did it go? Okay, but anyways, today I got that passport thing taken care of, so that's pretty awesome. So hopefully I'll get all this stuff taken care of before too long. Won't just be a waste of money because I can't go nowhere. So we'll see. That's why I have to take it to trial, because I got to beat the case, because I'm not taking charges. You know what I'm saying? So I got to beat the case so I can travel. Otherwise I can't travel. So a lot of places you can't go with a record. So they won't let you travel. So as of now, I don't have a record. We'll see what the attorney can get taken care of, how long it takes him to get this. He's got to go through with the discovery in the case. So he's a good attorney. He'll know if there's any errors. He'll definitely be able to point that out to him. And I'm sure there's plenty of errors. So we'll see where it goes from here. But that's what I went and did today. Went into town. I don't really like to go into town very much, but I had to do that. And actually this place that I went to today, I don't know why it was different. Why I didn't go there before, but the last place I went, there was a lot of people. And this time I went to a different location and there was nobody there. And I even showed up early. I just want to make sure I have all my paperwork taken care of. And they took me early and got out of there a little early too, which was nice. So hopefully it won't take them long to process that, and I'll be able to get that taken care of. I'm looking forward to be able to travel outside of the United Corporation. It's not really United, it's some other corporation, but the divided corporation states, they're all divided up, but they all
and they all get policed different in different states. So how are they united? Supposed to be under the federal government, but that don't really work like that. They just do whatever they want. So anyways, I was talking earlier about when I made this heading for the live stream, is that these tariffs that have been passed are unconstitutional, and presidents don't make presidents. The Congress is the one who makes tariffs. So I don't know why nobody talks about that. You know, it's part of the whole deal, but they've been breaking these constitutional laws for a long time. You know, they turned it into Act 1871. You know, anybody know what the Act of 1871 is? You know, it's been turned into a corporation. It's not a country. It's a corp, like a dead man walking, if you will. So you'll pay for your own enslavement. And you'll get extorted for that bond. That's what these people live off. These well, it's your merchant number. It's a credit. They credit use as this corporation as a slave for like the New York Stock Exchange. You know, like they stake Christ to a stock, and that's why they have stocks right now, just to mock people, because people are idiots. They think Christ he carried a cross and he was hung on a cross. Nobody ever hung on crosses. It's not a crucifixion. To be crucified, you're hung from a tree, and you form, but you're first pegged or staked to a stalk or a yoke. So why do you think they have the stock exchange or bonded? You're bonded. Your bond is, your money. It's called your merchant number. And they've taken it from you. They adopted that by birth. You gave you a new name, and it's in capital letters. It's your straw man, and it's part of this corporation. That's why all crimes are crimes of revised statutes under crimes of commerce. Revised Title 18 statutes, not the original statutes, adjudicated to the House, Congress, and Senate. I'd mentioned earlier on the stream, but just revised, added. Kind of like Donald just makes, Obama passed 923 executive orders. It's supposed to go through Congress. Congress is the one who makes tariffs, just like the law. So go back and research the Constitution. You'll find that's how that works. But they just break it, and people go, okay, and they go by it. They're like, oh, okay, I'm a corporation, and I'll go by the capital letter laws, and I'll be corporatized, and I'll be enterprised, and I'll be mandated. So I don't go on dates with men. So you go on dates with men. I don't go on dates with men. So I don't follow codes, because I'm not. The mandate and codes are for corporations, or, like I said, enterprises or businesses. That's why it's written in capital letters. See how that works? Go check your driver's license, your birth certificate out. It's all written in capital letters. I want to show you something, though. I want you to know that your name is written in capital letters on your birth certificate, and this is my birth certificate right here. My name is not written in all capital letters. Notice. That's not all capital letters. Lowercase. All right. Not all capital letters. Now, wait a minute.
Some of us may have slipped through the system, huh? So, but yours is definitely written in capital letters. Go look at your birth certificate. It's all capital letters. So I don't know how some people slip through the cracks, but I have 2 of them, and I just filed the other one with my passport. It's not in capital letters either. So I have 2 of them from the city and the state, or the county. I think this one's from the county. I have the county. It's born in the city of messengers in the concrete jungle. So, but that's how they get you. So, nice, yeah. Go see Casey does got Berkey eyes in the water ball. Oh yeah. But that's how this is all working. So I got to get through this system, however it is. I'm gonna do it doing that their way for now. Using this attorney. It looks as if, again, if I had to give my opinion, I think they're going to take me to trial. I don't know how they're going to do it, because I don't know where they're going to come up with the funding to do, they have to prosecute this case. They have to have the burden of proof. They have, preponderance of evidence. They have to have proof beyond a reasonable doubt. If there's any doubt, then they can't prosecute me. So I think John can show reasonable doubt. So, but they've been very stubborn with this case. Obviously, it's been 15 months, coming up in August, and I've asked them to drop it every single time. Demanded they actually drop it every time I go to court, and they just choose not to. So it's Father doing it. It's getting windy out there. Sounds like we're getting a storm coming in. There's a storm moving in. She's rushing back from somewhere that she never should have been. See if we get some lightning and the thunder roll. Tango's just sitting there at the door looking at the storm. Are you watching for lightning there, Taggy? My biggie, pup. He's such a big guy. He's watching the front door. He's probably getting that breeze in his face. Probably feels good. He's cooling off his body. He's a smart puppy. You're one smart puppy. So, but no, I need to try to get out of here as soon as I can. I don't want to be in this country. I'm not going to BS you. They're just kidnapping people off the streets of this country. So I hate this country so much. I hate that I have to be here every day, and I don't hate Father. I just don't like being here. I don't like being under this. This is not a constitutional republic anymore. I know I can have a better life outside of these walls. It doesn't mean I'm just going to bail on what's done on this property and the ministry here, but there's actually nobody here right now, so that's fine, other than Kevin, and Kevin, I'm sure, will go with me. So looking forward, if that's possible, if Father makes that possible for me, I'm going to try to take the first chance that, not chance, but the first time that I can. I'm going to do that and see, if I don't like it, I come back, right? So, but I know I'm going to love it. It's not going to be easy work. Kind of start all over, but I've had to start all over many times in my life. So build it from the ground up, so to speak. Kind of like this place, 5 years ago, 6 years, there was nothing here. Everything was taken from this property. So there's three cabins out here, They're not all complete, but 90% on this one plus, and about the same on the Rusty Dragon. The one in the back, I've got the outside, so it's about 50% done on that one, but on the Rusty Butterfly. But there's 3 places people could be resting their heads, calling a home, and they're taking homeless off the street, you know. So I don't know, taking people with mental disabilities off the street, and I'm sure they think I'm batshit crazy if they listen to me, but I don't care what they think. I've never been diagnosed with a mental disability, so just because I'm having an opinion doesn't make me crazy. And that wind is cooking. She's a cooking. Might have to go out there and see. That looks like there's a storm. Like a good. That sounds like some light. There'll be some lightning that I'm missing. Just the last names on caps on yours. Nice, man. This thing is. All right. Yep, they take the plea bargain. Just that's kind of trip. I'm gonna go. Hold on. Let me see this storm here. Go poke my head out there. Kevin went over there right where it's at. Stay tight. Stay. So excited. Raindrops on the windshield. There's a storm moving in. Just rushing back from somewhere that she never should have been. Hold on a second. What, girl? I see you. I tried to let you in. Come on. Come inside. Come inside with the dad. There's my girl. She's inside. The kitty's inside. My kitty girl. There's my pretty girl. My little sweetheart. It's so windy out there. Are you coming in here with the dad? Come in here with the dad. Come on, there, girl. Come on, my girl. Come here, my girl. Come here, my pretty girl. Come here, my pretty girl. Oh, we up on the screen. Say hi, Juniper girl. This is the channel kitten. This is our channel kitten. She's been here since she was a little tiny baby kitten. Oh, I just love her so much. You don't come inside and hang out with me no more. You used to come and sleep with me. I bet you come sleep with me in the wintertime, huh? Sleep at Dad's feet. No, we don't get around Dad's head, huh? Dad don't like the kitties by the head. Yeah, she's getting so big. She's a big girl. She's actually a couple years old, I think now almost. Crap. She's getting to be a big girl. She's our channel kitten that we love. Oh, we love her. Do we love her? Yes, we do. She's my sweetheart. She's my sweetheart. I love this girl and she knows it. She's my girl. She's my little kitten mama girls. She's a good girl. She's the prettiest little girl I ever did have. Thanks for hanging out with the dad. Thanks for hanging out with Dad. She has been inside in months, guys. It's just windy. I don't think she wants to be out there in the wind. It's so windy. It's so windy out there, huh? You're such a sweetheart. You're the best girl I ever had. You're the best girl there ever did was. All the single time. You want to get down? You want to sit down next to me? You want Dad to quit holding you? Oh, look at the kitten girl. She's a half and half kitty. She got all the half one way, half the other. Lay down right there. No. Lay right there for a second. For a minute. You want to go check out the cabin? All right. Go check out the cabin. Good girl. Good girl. Wanna go get a drink? Go hang out with the puppies. She's going to want to go back out. I know it. Oh, kitty girl, my best girl that I ever did have. She's my pea, my little sweet pea. She's such a good kitty girl. She's my best kitten I ever did have. She is. I've had 3 or 4 kitten girls, but she's the best one. We had Reese's. Remember Reese Peasy? We had her for a long time till she started chasing those darn bald eagles up the telephone poles up here, and I think the birds ate that cat. I think the birds ate her. She ate a lot of birds like this cat is a bird slayer. I love her. You're a bird slayer. Birds don't stand a chance out here around her. So, no, there's no big feet. Father didn't create big feet. There's no such thing as big feet. No big feet. There's a lost tribe of red-headed giants that kind of makes big feet look stupid. That's for real. So, but no, Father didn't create any big feet. There's no, Chewbacca didn't have Wookiee with an Ewok, and now he got big feet. So, people like to be sensational, and I understand people are always going to, take you, want to go snipe hunting with me? No, Nephilim's not a giant. Nephilim is the word bully. Nephilim's not a giant. Nephilim is the word bully. It doesn't have anything to do with that word is Anunnaki. And not Anakin Skywalker. See how they did this? They got everybody all tripping. Now they think they've got walking Chewbacca's on our rock. Well, abominable snowman or Yeti or whatever you want. It's all albino Bigfoot. It's nonsense. There's no Father didn't create big feet. So people they think God's in the sky. They think it's 2025. People are idiots. I can't help people. So Fort Nephilim was a giant. What a giant. I just told you what a giant is. Nephilim is the word bully. You have to use a lexicon. That's like a dictionary. Most people don't define anything. So Father planted you in the exact right channel. I'll give all glory to the Most High. And he's not in the sky. God has never been in the sky. Woo, it's kicking out there now. You're better in here there, girl. So, giant is the word Anunnaki, and that is the land of Anak, which is the modern day Gaza, which is right here. So you need to study with the right tools. You got to have a map so you know where you're. I'm not sure where you're at, but I can take a stab at it, but I won't. See, this is Israel right here. So this is Gaza. This would be the land of Anak. This is where they are told to go into the wilderness right here and scout out in the land of Anak, the Anunnaki. David slayed an Anunnaki. Goliath was an Anunnaki, not a Skywalker, not some alien ball god in the sky. Angels don't have wings. Fallen angels don't come from the sky. Sons of God, that is Ahab. A son of God is doing the will of the Father. Therefore, you can't be fallen. And angelos, see, angel is the word angelos, is the word messenger. Nobody will define. I don't care which country you're from or which dialect or glossa or tongue. There's no such thing as speaking in tongues. See, the people, they love to sensationalize things, like Pig Latin, or you speak Chewbacca, or I don't know, whatever that, maybe Yeti or whatever that is. But all right, our Yeti. So you might want to study with the right books. This actually, you can define every word with the definition and then take it to this book and define every word and find where it's all the Old and New Testament. It's taken and put in this book separate. So you don't have to go through the book, but you can lazy study it, or you can actually sit down and study it back in the book. And now, because you don't know where everything's at, you can use this as a cheat code. That's how I study. So it's a better way to study. There is only way to study. One, Aletheia is the word truth. You have to find the definition. If you don't find, if you do leave the definition, you leave the truth. So he said, I am the aletheia, was the word truth. He said, I am the hados. That means to narrow. To narrow means to cut off your translation and your pornea, your sensationalism, your isms, Calvinism, Catholicism, Mormonism, all these insanities, Christianity, all these jisms or isms or Baptists, Calvinists, Calvinisms. I told they're all part of this Satanism is what it is. All these are Satan is the adversary. They add to the book. So you're a Satanist if you add to his word. You're what is called the adversary, not Satan, the one that's locked in the pit, the one that Donald Trump has his house decorated with Mithra, the god of three genders, the god of both beast, man, and woman. That's their god. They have a transgender god. That's why they like to push that agenda on people. Come on by and give it a try. See why they want you to try some of that? Lick that lollipop. Well, buy Red Democrip or Bloodbakin. Same lollipops. If you're that tri-lollipop, the Astropop, what color was that one with a little wax on the bottom? Your heart is wax cold. You know that? To the word, that's what it says. So, what you doing, girl? What you doing, big girl? What you doing, my little girl? Why don't you go up there and lay down on the bed? Go lay down on the bed. Go rest up there. Go rest up in the bed. Go get in Dad's bed. You can sleep up in Dad's bed. So, no, there's only one truth, Lee. Truth can't be changed. So that's the word pornea. That's the other, you know what I'm saying? There's only one truth. There's only one sovereign. There's only one creator. There's no such thing as man-made. The Father created all things. So he created evil. He created goats and he created sheep. Vessels of wrath fitted for destruction from the foundation of the world. He already knew. He already chose. He already knows. Prognosko is the Greek word, but people don't speak Greek. So there's only one truth. It's definition. You have to study cultures and customs. There's a difference between an idiot and an idiom. The book is full of parables. You must study maps like I just showed you so you know where you're talking about. These things, names were not changed to protect the innocent. It was called the Great Sea. Remember, they thought the constellations were going under the sea. You know, when they looked out at the Great Sea, remember I told you John was at the island of Patmos where he wrote that, he gave that message. Christ visited him as a messenger, an angel, but he didn't have wings, remember? You got too much, you've been padding like a maxi pad or something, mixing some, you got some bad blood going here. Seriously, something ain't right with you. Take your little wings and fly out of here. There's only one truth. Not necessarily. Atlantis is a cycle of the 400-foot raising and lowering of the seas of this rock, because there are literally cities off the coastlines of many of our continents where the sea is raised and lowered, so it's not. There are many things I don't want to talk about. I just stick to the 6,000 years that I'm in now, and I don't worry about that. Try not to talk about that in here. I just stick to the gospel, because that's the only way to the Father is through the Son, and that's through the gospel. So all this other stuff is, some things have validity, but there's no gods in the sky. There's no balls in the sky that are gods. We don't come from balls in the sky. So you can take your balls out of here if you think that. Your big feet, you know, Chewbacca didn't have Wookiee with an Ewok. Now you got big feet. You can pound sand with those big feet or kick rocks. How about that? Well, it's called, remember, Lee, I think Solomon said it best. He said there's nothing new under the sun. So you have to know the cycles. Like most people don't realize that we're in the 12,000 year cycle right now. 6,000 years ago. See, these are Heimrich events. I'm not sure if you understand all the extinction cycles or the Lechamp or any of these core data where you can look through our through the paleoclimatology records. No, there's no interdimensional. So if you think there's Sasquatch, you got to go. There's no dimensions. There's no space. There's no balls in the sky. That they're constant. They stay there. They're not, you don't come from the balls in the sky. Saturn is not the time. It's not Chronos. Okay. Melchizedek, right? You know, do you know anything about the star? Don't start talking about the stars because you popped into a magi. You might not know what a magi is. Hate to break it to you, I'm an angel. You ever seen an angel with your own two eyes? He said he'd send two witnesses. You know what the word angelos is? That's the word messenger by definition. So I declare the line. I get in front of this age every single time. You'll see me. If you're birthed anywhere this line, you'll always see me here. I'm always here to declare the line and the age. As a magi, I have marked these time markers like in, well, Gemini, like going back in time or back to the future. You see those tetrad blood moons right there tattooed on? We're going to be back at that on August 12th. You know anything about that? You know anything about that? If you don't know anything about the celestial firmament, you probably don't know that the firmament, it declares the handiwork. So there's no gods in the sky, no interdimensional, no other dimension. There we have the Hopi talks about the ant people, the people under our feet. We have chasms, as is above, so is below, but there's nothing in the sky. Sky Daddy, Jesus, you got a Sky Daddy God or a Sky Daddy Jesus? You must be one of these religious idiots. You done fallen for, oh, Patter boy. Your brother was just looking for you. He was checking on you. He's such a good boy. He knows you're not out there. Man, her brother came up and you want to go back out there with your brother? You want to stay in here? He came up to the door. He's looking for you. He's being a good boy. No worries. Don't worry about it. It's okay. People make mistakes. You know, not everybody understands, and some people, they don't step on their own, or they go around. So it's better to, you know, some things are better left unsaid, but no worries. You can't turn a goat into a sheep. There's no gods in the sky. Chewbacca didn't have Wookiee with an Ewok, and now we've got Yeti, albino, big feet running around. Remember at Disney, it was called the Matterhorn. It was called the Abominable Snowman. I remember I was a child and grew up in the concrete jungle right down there by Walt Disney and Hollywood. Remember I told you my dad was an actor, so he threw acorns at Mr. Rogers on the movie set. That I can tell you. I can't tell you too much about, you know, his time as an actor. I mean, there's certain things I could tell you, but I didn't find out till later, and I was in the military, that he was the #1 sniper in the military until now. We have many operations. It's like whacking people now, but he was the #1, you know, remember, boys will be boys and girls will be girls, all that, Mr. Rogers. But when they were filming Dennis the Menace, my dad used to throw, he said he threw acorns at Mr. Rogers. And I didn't know, again, till later, after even I'd gotten out of the military, after I got out of law enforcement, that I don't know how I didn't figure that out when I was in the military, that he was a sniper. So most people don't know that Mr. Rogers was the #1 sniper in the military for decades. So, but my dad, he was quite the silly dude. I already told you that. If you know me, the apple don't fall far from the tree. Cut from that same cloth. That's my dad. That's me. So I didn't know that. You know, imagine that. I got told that when I was younger and then didn't find out till after I got out of law enforcement in the military. And I was SWAT. I've been, you know, like I said, I'm special weapons and tactics trained. That's SWAT trains with sniper training. That's dual training. They go hand in hand. Sniper and SWAT are kind of a, if you have any law enforcement training, I'm not saying you, but you'd know that. Not like you, but, you know, that's part of, somebody's got to have that, you know, cover. So kind of like in war, same thing, you know. So cover me while I throw my grenade. All right, never mind. My bad. Can't say bomb in America. Remember, he droned the hell out of you. So 923 executive orders. He passed the 11004 order. So better watch out for 44. He's in on it too. Mr. Old Vomit makes me sick. Supposed to be taste good and bitter to the belly. I never did fall for that hopium. I was left with a bunch of pocket lint, not even any change. So remember, he printed $10 trillion in 8 years. Yeah, that's kind of important in this day. I'm glad Father's got my back. You know what I'm saying? He's the only one. You know, it's like I got eyes in the back of my head, but it's Father who sees. You know, he sees me through these times. I've been kind of a lone dog. I'm not a wolf. I know people think I'm a wolf, but whatever. They normally pack up. Even canines pack up in the wild. So, but that's why I have a sheep. I have a flock that I'm supposed to lead, and that's why Father made me a dog and not a wolf or a sheep. So I'm neither. I wish I could say I was. I'm not a sheep. I know that. So I know I want to say that, because then how am I going to be at the wedding feast of the lambs? I don't think maybe I won't. Maybe I'll just continue to serve, just to be a shepherd. Maybe just be there as a witness. I don't know. I hope I am. I told you, I want to hear that harper's harp. They're the only ones. The bride's the only one that hears those strings. You know, that chord, you know, striking the same chord or tone. You know, remember this frequency, wave, hertz, megahertz, all this stuff is very, people forget about all these things that are going on around them all the time. That's why I can't live around people. I'm kind of a loner because I put out a different, like, again, I'm not throwing you to the side here, just people who hang around me tend to suffer, you know, because the way Father made me who I am. So, and I suffer myself, but I don't care. I'm not here to be liked or be loved or think what the world has ever thought of me. It's not about me. It's about what Father has made me to be. You know, all the things that make us who we are the difficult times. The good times are nice, but they don't stick to you like those hard times, you know. And I know it's how we respond in those hard times that really define who we are. Really. I mean, you want something to get worse, just make it worse in a hard time. Just, you'll know what I'm talking about if you've ever been there. But if you respond, you know, and try to let Father put it in he'll show you the way. Might not be easy, but you can take up your own. And I've done that before and just made things worse, because fighting Father, fighting the obvious, fighting what he wanted for me. But he always has his will or his way with me. He is the hados. That means to be in the same narrow. So he narrows, he beats and whips me. And but that's part of just, you know, you got to take it for the team. Be a team player. Even if you're a leader, you're still part of the team. Remember? So, and I didn't ask to be a leader. I didn't ask for this. So I joined the military at 17. My dad said if I ever joined the military, he would kick my ass. He'd beat me. He said that would be the worst thing I could ever do. And my dad died when I was 16. I joined the military at 17 years old. So obviously I already told you I didn't listen to my dad. I listened to him not to get beat, because he didn't beat me, but I got thumped a lot and whipped and grounded and made to work like a freaking slave. But I like working with my dad because my brothers didn't help him. They got good grades, so they didn't have to stay home, and they weren't grounded or had to stay home. You know, he'd still sometimes let me out, but he'd restrict my hours if I not got bad grades. That was it. I'd stay. I'd lose my whole summer. I lost things for not getting. Only got one bad grade, but I guess a D once. I got a D too, but failed one class, and I didn't have to. I just didn't. I had to try it, see what happened at least once. If my dad was going to kill me, I like to tempt death, so I thought he would, but he didn't. Instead, he didn't let me see my mom. I didn't see her for a long time. So, and then I got all mad at him, and he'd let me didn't let me grow my hair out and have an earring. So I go move with my mom. What a dick move that was. It was pretty much, that was it. I thought he was hard on me in school. He didn't, because I didn't want to get grades. I didn't want to get good grades, so. And he wanted me to get good grades because he said I could. I just wasn't applying myself. and he was right. So that's okay. Like I said, I think that's why my son suffers so much. He's just, father, like my dad. I know I am who I am because of who he was. And I remember when my son, I never thought I could be the dad that my dad was, because he was a good dad. He wasn't perfect, but he was a really good dad. And we had a real structured life, and he didn't beat us. Like, there's a difference between corporal punishment, physical discipline, and being beat. So he took us from being beat, all of us were beat, and to better so. But I know that I, at one point in time, got to pretty much teach my son everything that my dad had taught me that I could remember. And so it was a good feeling, because I never thought that I could be the dad that my dad was. He was so strict, and so he just seemed like, back in the day, he was my idol. People have idols now. We're not supposed to idolize anybody, or we're warned of that, but people wanted to be, I wanted to be like my dad. He was like, he beat all the odds. So everybody's different. Now people don't really idolize their parents, and we shouldn't even idolize, but they don't aspire. It is what it is. Jody's left us some stains, so we'll go ahead and get rid of that. That's disgusting. But some people are just vile, man. Just can't come in without being vile. So, but either way, like I said, I know that I got to teach my son the things that I did and the things that my dad did. And that was pretty cool to be able to remember the day that I was like, oh, man, I have taught him everything as much as I can, because my dad really slammed my brain full of information on a regular basis. He repeated himself a lot, and he repeated a lot of the same things over and over again because he wanted to drill him. Hi, girl. Hi, that kitty girl. Hi, little pea. A little sweet pea. What are you doing, girl? What are you doing, pretty girl? What are you doing, little pretty girl? What are you doing, pretty girl? Oh, she gonna lay with the dead. She gonna lay with the dead. All right, hey, what do we got going in here? Let's check these messages. I got this chat thing all messed up here. We go. Man, they changed this whole thing. It's not the same anymore. Oh well, it is what it is. Jimmy Crackcorn. Well. All right. Well, so are you going to get snatched up by ICE? They can just take anybody they want right now with this whole ICE thing. And you just put you in the box like Amazon. These thugs don't care. They're just going to pick you up, put you in the box. Remember? They don't care. Amazon don't care what's in the box. They just want to ship it out. So, same thing. If you can start thinking with that mentality, you might be able to, make it a little longer in the future. If not, you're probably going to get put in a box. Yep. See, that's why I live where I live. See, yeah, this dude is crazy. You think I'm crazy, huh? You go ahead and keep hanging out in your cities where these people, and they can come anywhere. It don't matter where you're at, but they're doing that, picking the low hanging fruit right now. They always do. So they're definitely funding this through the corporations. So there's going to be plenty of money to go around. These mercenaries, these ISIS, these thugs, these ISIS, just call them what they are. ISIS. They're ISIS. Put it ISIS. Put it in the chat. ICE apostrophe S. ISIS. There are thugs. They are paid mercenaries, no different than the guys over there dressed with the burqas and the whole Hamas. There are Hamas. They're the same thing. If you don't see that, then you're blind. These people are going out there paid by the corporation to take people off the streets. And you should start to see what they're doing with some of the people already. There's already some horror stories coming out about, people washing ashore with handcuffs and shackled, and I'm sure this is just getting started. 31 bodies to be exact so far. So this isn't going to stop, and it's not going to go away. He just made an executive order to go out sweep homeless. If you're poor, it's illegal to be poor in America. How do you cure being poor? Well, they'll put you in a box. Might put you on a plane, fly you out and do circles with you and come back and dump you in the ocean. Remember they did that to the guy that dropped 3 steel buildings with 2 airplanes, my ass. CIA operative, another one, trained and did oil deal with the Bushes. Osama bin Laden. Remember? Vomit. Supposedly threw him in the ocean. In the sea, under the sea. They like to play with you guys. Just toy with you. It's like a carrot on a string. Just dangle it out, and these people just keep biting or trying to. It is. It's like chasing the carrot they can't ever reach, Just dangle it right in front of their face. It's like these MAGA idiots, Some of them are jumping shark right now. Just hold those people accountable. So what that now? What happened all the time when, you wanted to throw everybody under the bus if they weren't, make America MAGA is the high priest of the Satan church. Hello? Go look at what MAGA means in all the different languages. It's not hiding. It's not hidden. Hiding from Biden. He let the Biden. He had to stand down so he can be president 9/11. 4 + 5 is 9. Skip Joe and 46, and 4 + 7 is 11. 9/11. Get it? You that blind 11? 9, I said. 4 + 5 is 9. Skip like a card game, like Uno. 4 + 5 is 9. We'll start over. Skip Joe, like a card game. Let the bite in. And then he comes in to sweep the people off the streets, encamp the saints. Tariff. All this stuff is illegal. Unconstitutional. Presidents can't make tariffs, just like Vomit, his buddy, behind Barry. They trade lightsabers in their ice hole. Remember, they have their black hole outside their blind 11 building, their abyss, their place of people have no knowledge what that is. And the footprint. You ever been there in New York? The One World Freedom Tower? There's no such thing as free will, and freedom is... Who sold you on the idea of freedom? There's no freedom in this country. There's no freedom anywhere. Somebody paid a price. I know my dad told me that. Didn't you grow up? Didn't your parents teach you that? There's nothing is free. So why in the hell would you buy in freedom? It's rights. People have constitutional right to choose. Yes or no? Period. These idiots are going to tell you, they're not idiots, they're actually vain and vile is what they are, that if you don't vote in their system, that you don't have a voice. That's the First Amendment. Congress gives you that right. It's a God-given right, not somebody that says you don't have a right because you don't vote. So I rebuke these idiots. If people would just stop voting, these people would lose their jobs. But it's all these people who keep participating in this donkey and elephant circus show, Vargas, whatever it is. The big top, all these people at the top, the principalities, powers, spiritual wickedness, the rulers of the darkness of this world that Paul speaks of, that we're supposed to not wrestle against flesh, wrestle against these people. But no, I'm going to support the pig. People in government. It is. Give them enough bread and circus and they'll never, it's just Romanesque. Here we are again. Rome never died. We still got the Vatican. Mr. Warp Speed, now they got these people thinking that's someplace in the middle of the desert special. They're like riding the short bus. You put a helmet on, they're knocking into the walls or something. I don't mean to be like that, but just they're unaware of what they're doing. So some of them, I guess, are rattled their cage. You got to shake the sugar tree or whatever they're coming out of it, but hold these MAGA idiots responsible, accountable. Father will condemn them, but you supported that man. You voted for him 3 times, and now you just figured it out. We were trying to tell you back in blind 11. 4 plus 5. Hey, this channel told you before he was even selected, he even acted on this presidency, right? No, back before 45 on Truth Viral Television. Oh, that's when Mr. Obama was in office. I was warning you of Trump coming, didn't I? In his soft medical martial law. And it happened too, didn't it? Yeah, and now I'm telling you about the Executive Order 11004. This is the only blog on anywhere on the internet that's talking about the 9/23/1945 ritual that they're already doing. That's what they did during World War II. You just don't follow what's going on. They're doing it again. They're doing these rituals, nothing new under the sun, all flesh under this covenant. So it's not just someplace, but they got people fooled by thinking that's Israel. Israel is a spiritual Israel. It's a spiritual bride. It's a spiritual Jews. Why are you so miserable? Nobody's miserable, you idiot. You don't know anything about me. Why would I be miserable? I got my dogs laying right next to my freaking cat. I am in freaking 7th heaven right here. Look at that. I got my kitty. Shut the hell up, you child. Oh, I know, huh? I'm freaking waking up my kitty. You're freaking disgusting. Get out of here. You woke up my kitty. Lay down, girl. Can she lay on your feet? She just wants to lay down. Dad woke her up. Lay down, sweetheart. There we go. I miss my son. Other than that, my daughter, I live in the dream. I have a ministry that Father blessed me with. I get to stand up against corruption. Be Christ-like. Get to share that if, the halakha, the Haggadah, the perverted corporation. Christ would have been thrown in prison already in this modern day. He would have stood up against this corporate beast. Absolutely. They threw him in jail, whipped him, hated him so much that they hung him and stuck him like he was some kind of animal, like they were going to eat him, like they're orgy Jesus. No, seriously, they do their ritual. They celebrate the birth of the sun god in the middle of the winter, Jesus Christ, born in a manger, Jesus. Christ was born when the shepherds were in the field with the sheep, you idiot. Remember? And I said, I'm a shepherd. Have you ever gone to Israel? You know about the rains? You ever raise sheep? I'm at Silver Rock Ranch right now. You can go back on this channel. You can find Henry. He chases the dogs around. He's over eating blackberries. But anyways, we move the livestock around. You don't know nothing about the rains and mold and the blight, how they could get. The sheep are put up in the months of October, November, and December. There's no way in hell. Hell is the sun god, Satan, Jesus Christ, birthed in the middle of the winter. Cracker Jesus, the one with 3 genders. There's more than one Jesus, you idiot. Grow up. Christ spoke of many. They've got their little leotarded red Jesus over here, or devil, little horny Jesus, one with breast. Baphomet, you idiots. Are you that uneducated? Well, if you're an idiot, it's not an insult. It just means you don't know. I'm not insulting you. It's the word idiotas. It means you don't know. You've never even seen it or heard it, and that's okay. I won't hold you against the wall. Get him up against the wall. Reminds me of that Roger Waters. Remember Pinky? That's Trump, you idiots. What do you think Roger Waters was writing about? We're here. Welcome to Machine. This movie's right about. I'm going to do a decode on it. Yes, well, New Year starts, right? When does new life spring up? April Fools. Yep, in the spring. So, people are idiots. That's okay. They bang. Remember pots and pans after their bang orgy ritual? Their orgy Jesus. They had beast rituals. It was a bestiality Jesus. They got mange because they were having sex with beast. Well, I'm not sure. That's not true. I just made that up. But they definitely had sex with beast, man, and woman. It was an orgy. That's what they call Christmas. It was actually outlawed in America. They would find you and throw you in jail. Actually, this nation was founded on Christmas. It's not a stolen nation. Father allowed this abomination nation. They're not called Native Americans. They were pagans and Satanists and heathens. They went after pole gods like Egypt, gods with head of birds and men and head. This is perversion. They were Satanists. Father's like, here, you want some blankets? Stay warm. Remember, they gave them blankets. They had to genocide these people. They were Satanists. They were not native. They wandered over the ice bridge and came from the south. Remember the Mayans, tribe of Gad? People are idiots. The Chinese were here in the 14th century. Christopher Columbus, 1492, sailed the ocean blue. The Beaver Wars, people are just foolish. They would fine you and put you in jail if you celebrated this orgy, Christmas. Mass is the eating of human flesh. They would burn a man. Remember, it was like Rome. They had red and blue. Like, well, Democrat and no, like lottery. Remember, they would have a lottery for a man. And he would get to, the Saturnalia, the Feast of the Yule Wheel, where they thought the goddess of heaven was spinning the North Star around, they thought the goddess of heaven was the North Star. And she was spinning the Big Dipper around the North. This is the swastika. These people are foolish. At the equinox, they start their celebration, equal day, equal night. Over here's 9:23 in the dark, under the sea. They thought the constellations were going under the sea on their wheel. This is the Yule wheel, the Feast of the Yule, the Feast of Saturn, the sacrament of the Mass. That's what they were fleeing. The Catholic Church. They would kill you. The Yin Yang twins. There we go. Outstanding. Boom! Nathan said he'd say 2 witnesses. How about the Yin Yang twins? Sorry. Poor Juniper. Just like I'm hanging out with Dad. That's why I don't hang out, Dad. You're just too wild and crazy. So good. Good stuff, man. Thank you, Nathan. But yes, we know this. Like I said, you can't hide this anymore, guys. This is not some time. The veil has been lifted. We don't live in the age of deception. The constellations are not going under the sea. Okay, we don't live on a spinning ball. Jesus is not the reason for the season. It's not a 23.5 degree tilt. This is all nonsense. We live within the firmament, the waters above and the waters below. You're not getting out of here. There's no gods in the sky. Nobody's going to the sky. You can't land on a light. Stop it. It's not 2025. The New Year's does not start in the middle of the winter. For Christ's sake, they had an orgy, and they would marinate that man like a rack of ribs, and after a pump and dump, a suck and... Well, he got marinated. He blew his, and they blew in his, and he blew in theirs, and they blew, and it was like a share. That's why it was an orgy. And they let this man eat of the finest cheeses and veals and caviar, and yeah, he was ready to go. Like, remember? Bam! And then they mass-ate him. They mass-ate the eating of human flesh. For Christ's sake, they mass-ate him. Christ mass. Their king of their will, Jesus Christ. Apollyon, Satan the sun god, birthed in the middle of the winter. Baby, manger, Jesus. Mange. Remember, their babies got mange? Because they have sex with beasts. Wonder if he came out with mange. Baby manger, Jesus. Bring a whole new meaning to rolling in the hay, doesn't it? I'm here at Silver Rock Ranch. I'm a little offended by that. I'm telling you, there's a silver lining in all things, brothers and sisters. But like gold and silver, we're supposed to be refined. Remember that. You don't reach that point unless you've been put through the heat and fire constant for a long time. Long time it takes to get that up to get off that slang. Yeah. How many, and we've been to the moon since, and now Mr. Space Farce has created a force of more money extortion for the people's taxpayers. Remember? They had their little cock rocket ritual with the little cock ring, where they had sent the 7 ladies into that was a cartoon, I believe, on the Scooby-Doo show, or whatever that was called. It wasn't Scooby. Oh, it was Scooby-Doo. Remember? But they sent that rocket into space with the 7 and that little ring festival. Remember, they opened the door to the pit, their little head, just the tip ritual they did. Remember the cock ring? It landed in the water. It didn't even steam. And then there was there dolphins? Mocking you, brothers, sisters. The birth. You can't have dolphins. You can't have birth around dolphins. You got mocked because you don't know what they're doing. Because the frequency, never mind. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about, but anyways. And then he pops you with a little dust ring Like, let me put just the tip. That's when they landed, and the dude went up and opened the. And then they did their dragon, you know, little ring around the rosy like a cock ring, their little dragon ring attachment. The CGI was so bad, brothers and sisters. Nobody even thinks this is anywhere close to space farce, a farce or reality, some kind of show. Seriously, the dragon, remember the whole dragon attachment before the whole cock ring ritual they did? The lunar lander or whatever it was. They didn't go to the lunar surface. Well, how come the boot doesn't match the dust print then? Would you like to explain that, NASA? Get out of here. You're a drug pusher. Marson works for the government. Who's the biggest drug pusher on this rock? It's going to be the government. Marson works for the government. Marson's a drug pusher. Don't be pushing your drugs in here on me. I don't do drugs. Sugar. I'm the corn syrup god. I am the great Cornelio. Shut up, child. As you eat your fucking sugar. Your little ding-dongs and your ho-ho. You want to know all the hoes are at? Why don't you go ask Santa Claus, you idiot? Lick your little lollipop, little sucker, until it gets stuck like a little tip. Remember, I'll poke you with that little forward, little perverted ring around the rosy little candy cane pole. Pokey. I'll stick you with a candy cane, huh? Because you're sucking on it until it comes to a point, to a tip. Wonder how many licks it takes to get to the center of that Tootsie Roll pop. They do. This place knows that. They pay to kill Ukrainian women. They unalived a whole generation. And it's our tax dollars. It's your tax dollars. I didn't pay any tax dollars. I pay taxes, but I didn't pay federal or state. I don't pay no. I pay property. I pay gas. I pay phone. I pay just like everybody else, but I pay as least as possible. So become a horse trader, brothers and sisters. Raise animals. Get off and get your own farm. Now's the time to go. They're just sweeping people off the streets. Sooner or later, they'll come to your door, but hey, you might as well just enjoy life farming until that time, eating chickens that come right off the end of your chicken's butt or something like that. Or have access, being somewhere where you can get access to, raise your own. That's going to be the best way, because if you don't raise your own, it's all modified. It's all been added, fluoridated in the water, chloridated, modified genetically, corn, Julio, remember, syrup, sugar, drugs. Basically, your corn runs on it. I mean, your car is a corn car. Unless it's electric. Are you one of those street sweepers, little stinky muskrat street sweepers? Well, they sure calm down on those. I didn't flip the one off today, and I always flip them off. And I did. I controlled myself. So I always flip them off. I can't help it. It's like a magnet. So I shouldn't do that. That's not nice. But I'm not here to be nice. That means to be stupid. So I'm not here to be stupid. I don't like stinky muskrat. He's a freaking... The iron will not cleave with the watery clay, Mr. Muskrat. You smell like mouse piss or rat piss to me. Oh, seriously, this guy's bunch of... What's your question? You got a question? Hey, little froggy, you feeling froggy? Why don't you jump there? Remember that game? What was that? Frogger. I had a little handheld Frogger game when I was young, because I'm old. A little handheld little football game too. Does anybody remember that little green one? That's what happened when he made a touchdown. That's what I want as my ringtone. Did anybody remember that ringtone? And you kick it off. All right. It's just one little thing, like Pong. It was like a little red. So that was some good times, man. We were freaking at the stadium right there. Your brain was right there in the stadium. You looked at the stadium. You were in there. You just imagine. You're like, man, I am Roger Staubach, or I am Jim Plunkett, or Dan Marino, or whatever. I'm old school. I don't mean to go. I can go Lyle Alzado or whatever. And you are old. Black shoes, Kenny King. Sorry. I grew up with commitment to excellence. So, Raider Nation. But anyways, I don't do that stupid tax exempt corporation nonsense anymore. I will not be entertained by the bread and circus. It's not entertaining anymore. It's not. It's hard to watch. These people just give into this. It's like the Gong Show, you know. They just love getting, you know, rung by the waves, you know, the millimeter waves. They do. They live in their super gong show. You know, seriously, you don't think so, but man, when I go into those freaking cities like today, man, and Ben's not as bad as some, I can tell you, it's definitely better than been to other cities. And oh my gosh, it's a nightmare. I can't go on the other side of the mountain. I get roasted over in Lane County, but it's like they hit that gong. You don't hear that, but you're okay because you're like, I just live with this every day, man. I'm used to it. It's like anything, you know, tolerance. You don't smell the dump. When you live next to the dump, you become nose blind. You live next to the railroad tracks. Huh? What train? You don't hear it. Oh, my damn, that thing, huh? You don't bitch about the airport and live next to the airport, right? You don't hear planes after a while when you're next to the airport. It's just background noise. White noise, if you will. If you're not subject to that, remember? Something stinks in here. I can smell it from 100 million billion light years. Light years, like buzz. Are you buzzed? Like light year, you know? I can smell it. It's like death, you know? I don't need to even smell a rotting corpse to smell death. I don't like that, but, you know, when you grow up around it and you grow up in the concrete jungle, it's everywhere, and you become law enforcement and military, and you just around it a lot, so... It's something that's in the air. I've been trying to tell people. They're just doing it again. It's in the air again. It's feeling COVID-esque again. I smell it. They're taking these people off the streets more than you even know. So there's a lot of people been disappearing. No birthday next year kind of deal. So, but it's getting to that point. Gerald Celente says, when all else fails, they'll take you to war. And he said with his interview with Judge Napolitano, said, well, like you said, if the Epstein files get too bad, they'll take you to war. So that was pretty epic what he said today. Definitely, if you don't watch Gerald Celente and Judge Napolitano, you need to watch their blog. Please go subscribe to Gerald Celente on this channel. They know what's going on, and they don't tiptoe through the tulips, so don't have soft ears if you go over there. Gerald Celente, like me, has a potty mouth, so maybe I'll get back to that one day. I'm trying. I'm working at it, guys. Just through all the precious metals to try to get somewhere, you know. But I can guarantee you whatever's happening now is just begun. And we have yet to even, you're going to wish it was today. And today is the better day to do what you should have done yesterday. Because it's not going to be any easier tomorrow. And if things break down and get worse, it's going to be like what Nate said, something like it'd take 40 days or something to take what it would take one day. You know what I'm saying? But it's here. You can't run from it. And there's a mass effect happening now, and they're funding this. The corporations, the businesses are funding this. So body snatchers, and they're not hiding it. They're ISIS, remember? ICE-S, ISIS. We have our own ISIS here in America. They're paid mercenaries. And I think there's been on record already 13 people since they started this that have died. And I'm not even counting those people that potentially washed up on shore in Sudan, where there was 31 people that were handcuffed and shackled. So I don't care if people don't have paperwork. If they haven't committed a crime, leave them the fuck alone. If they've committed a murder or rape or armed robbery, then get them the fuck out of here. Fine. But that's not what's happening here. We're far past that now. They've already passed that they're going to go out and take whoever's there. If they roll up when looking for somebody that's a criminal and you happen to be there and don't have paperwork, then you're going with them. So can you prove that you're a U.S. citizen? You better carry your birth certificate with you. You got a certified copy of that? It's Stasi Nazi Germany, like I said. You better have all your paperwork. You think you can prove? Maybe they don't think that's good enough proof. Now you're going in the van. Get the fuck in there. Shut up. Bye-bye. Oh, it's not going to happen to me. It's going to happen to you later. And not done what they're doing. They're going to do this in stages. Because it's a world stage, just like Dabu 77 says. I think he's live right now. Go see Dabu 2. Go see him, not Dabu 2. Well, we had a Corona hole stream hit us. So, no, this is getting out of control, guys. This is something that I swear I come because I have to because of this ministry. I don't want to though anymore. I got to be honest with you. I love coming in here and hanging out with you guys, but I don't want to be here anymore. I don't want to witness this stuff. This is just getting harder and harder to watch and keep repeating on. We're here. The 923 ritual is just being put out more. Every time they do this just adds to this 923 ritual where they intern American citizens. And it's going to be everybody, brothers and sisters. It's starting here in America. This is where it's going to start, but it's going to overtake. There's nowhere to escape judgments. They're going to do this. They just like stand on the edge, go inside, flatten the curve. It starts here. It will spread like wildfire. You watch. They're not going to just, there'll be reasons, and each one of these, it has to cover all flesh. It has to be every one of these countries, 180, all of them, to fulfill prophecy in their eyes. All the prophecy has been fulfilled. There's no prophecy being fulfilled. Father already wrote all things, but they're going to do it by flesh when everything is it's only spirit. And if you fall under the flesh, then you fell for it. And that's what he said, that we need to start preparing ourselves to not do this flesh. Wrestle not against flesh, he said, and blood, through Paul's writings. He said, cut it off, circumcise the flesh. Be in it, but be not of it. I can keep going. I can keep giving you more witness of his word, how he tells us, stay in the word, be not of the world. Be not of it. Be in it, but be not of it. Do you understand what he's telling you? You got to live like that right now. Be born from above. Same thing, to be born from above. So you can't, this flesh is going to be your enemy. You're not under flesh. You're not under the laws of flesh. And if you suffer because of it, you'll be rewarded after this death. So don't fear the second death. That's it. We're supposed to die daily to flesh. Fear who not can take your flesh, only fear who can take your flesh and your soul. So wrestle not against flesh. Wrestle against the halakha, the modern day corporation, this beast system. Speak up about it. The only thing it takes for evil to flourish is for good men to stand around, good women under this covenant, same thing, and stand around and do nothing. There we go. Do not partake in their unfruitful works of darkness. Just don't. It's okay to be angry. Misplaced melanin. That's a pretty interesting name. It's okay. Don't overdo it, but it doesn't make you an angry person. You're not supposed to like this. It's okay you can hate the sin. Just don't hate the sinner, please. So it's okay to be angry. You're not supposed to like it. Christ was a man of sorrows. Okay. He didn't like the world, that Father had birthed him, his flesh into, to fulfill all these prophecies, all these, laws that were, they were forwarding, twisting. They were doing very similar things back then that they're doing now. So he wasn't happy about it. And so I'm glad that you're not happy about what's going on. Don't be angry. And I don't think you mean anger like you want to lash out. I think what you just said just because I'm a spiritual, there we go, righteous anger. Right, righteous anger. There you go. Use it as righteous. You don't have to like it. Misplaced. You don't. I'm glad that you don't. You may have found a home where we don't like this. We're not supposed to sit around and partake, like Nathan says, and unfruitful. Don't judge them by their cover. You'll know them by their fruit. Do not sup with vipers. Do not cast your pearls before swine in the mud. If people aren't, speaking up about this, is a system that's just overtaking everything. It's a co-op. That's what I'm a veteran, and that's what we do. We co-op everything. How do you think we have 1,000+ military bases in all 180 countries? See how we do that? So, you got to think like a criminal to catch a criminal. You got to understand these, we don't have to like this. It's like, how in the hell is this guy campaign? He says he's going to drain the swamp. They're going to have a gate, and they're going to have a special investigation and eat pizza, right? And do all this, going to put Billary in prison, and she sets it's his inaugural dinner. He funnels hundreds of millions of dollars into his account for the buttons, banners, T-shirts, whatever, and she's at his inaugural dinner, And then, people don't care about that. People have no idea that, no, it's, if you don't vote, you don't have a voice. All this nonsense. We're not supposed to even partake in this. Anybody I know that's spiritual doesn't vote. They don't vote for their own enslavement. Vote for their own overlord, right? That's right. It says 6:12, finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord. May the power of his might put on the whole armor of God, that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, powers, the rulers of the darkness of this world, spiritual. It's all spiritual under this covenant, brothers and sisters. Spiritual wickedness, and he declares 2 times, spiritual wickedness in high places. Wherefore I say unto you, put on the whole armor of God. That armor is the word, brothers and sisters. It's the only thing that's going to protect you. In whatever comes, whatever day comes, the waters are going to get rocky, and don't jump the shark. Put your faith in the Lord. You'd be thrown into a den of lions. Have Daniel's faith like Daniel. No weapon formed against you shall prosper. No enemy, your enemy will come against you one way, right? No, your enemy will come against you one way, and I'll make them flee 7 ways, is what he says. So, but you have to be loving him. You have to do what he tells you, and you have to walk and carry your cross to be crucified, not a physical. Nobody was hung on physical crosses. That's the pagan unk. He formed what is known as a cross. But either way, the point is that he suffered, and we must suffer. And if you're thinking that you don't have to suffer, then you don't know Christ. He said long suffering. That's just part of the gospel. It's what we go through. But we find pleasure in the pain, because pain is just weakness trying to leave your body, soldier. Move out, draw fire. It's the ellipsis. Paul said we must go through much tribulation to receive that kingdom of heaven. If you're going to receive your reward, it comes with suffering. So it's not easy. So if you're not happy about this, good. Glad you're not all happy and just going along with everything that's going along right now. This is hard to watch. Some of us just don't like watching it, but we're not going to take, our head and stick it in the sand right now. Father always saves the best for last. So in a marathon, you got to finish the strongest to win the race. It's a long race. It's not some short jaunt. He said you must endure to the end to be saved. There's no floating angels. But that's silly. But angelos is the word messenger, brothers and sisters. Father sends his messengers, and it's in his word more than anything, brothers and sisters. And we're supposed to share that word with others. That is the light that he says to put at the top of your house. Light is not pride to raise. That's pride is to shine above others, to raise above, pride. That's why the outcast, Lucifer the third, right? No, not Lucifer. Don't take that out of Satan was cast from the ruling class. The heavens are the ruling class. Heavens aren't above your head. When you fall, it's because you've fallen from grace. You've fallen from Father's, law. And you tried to, that's exactly why Satan was cast from the ruling class, because he tried to rise above and be sovereign and create. And Father's the creator. There's only one creator. There's only one sovereign. Sovereign is the creator. So remember that. All of us are filthy rags. All of us have sinned and committed, acts that are unpleasing to not only the Father of the Old Testament, but Christ. But that's why he covers us. But we must repent, right? And Father is the one that rebukes our hearts before we repent. Father rebukes us with the word. It's that thorn in your shoe, like in the side of your belt or something. You got to stop and take it out. There's a thistle. There's like a little one of those little. It just won't go away until you address the issue. Maybe something you're not doing. Maybe it's something you are doing. But that's the rebuking that Father does with his word. Do you understand? That's what he does with the word. So we rebuke people with the word. We show them to the light. And Father does it. We're not doing anything. Father said, if I didn't call out to their hearts to seek after me, not one of them would. Not one of them. It says our hearts are continuously filled with wickedness. Continuously. I don't want to hear this half full, half empty crap. It means it would never stop overflowing. So that's why I constantly bring you to the gospel. Constantly bring you to Matthew. Constantly bring you to the book of Luke. Constantly bring you to Paul's writings. Bring you Ephesians. Bring you to Colossians. Thessalonians. I don't like to do all the numbers. I bring you to Romans. I bring you to all these books that Father provided these apostles for us to use these examples that they did when they walked, because we're supposed to be just like the apostles. If we're martyred, so what? For Christ's sake, he says that in Matthew 10:34-39. We go through that is the backbone of this channel. I tell you to read that until you don't need to read it anymore. Till you can. I did it yesterday. I'm not going to do it again, but please. That is the backbone of how you should be living your life. It tells you. It should tell you. If you're suffering right now, that is a suffering, gospel, Matthew 10:34-39. Read that and you'll know exactly why you're here. Life should make a lot more sense when you read that. So that's why I want you to have it. It's on your heart. It's already written on your heart. You understand? It's on the hearts of the bright. Same thing. Hear what I'm saying, Nathan? It's on the heart. It's written on your heart already. This is what this covenant, that's what this gospel is. And he reveals it. Seek, and you're going to have to sit down and read it. But it's not going to be that hard to come to you if this is what he wants for you. It's there, or he will reveal. Revelation. He will reveal. You will have a revelation. He will pull off that cover to reveal the truth. That's why he sent you here. So, and I send you to that word. And I just beat you guys to death with these same passages over and over and over. Over and over and over. Pastor says the same things a lot. Yeah, I do, because it's the gospel, for Christ's sake. It's Christ is the anointed in oil. And we are supposed to have, remember, our eye to be single. The eye is the lamp of the body. We are the vessel. Remember? Like the lamp, the vessel. If it's filled with light, then the whole vessel is filled with light. If the vessel is filled with darkness, the whole vessel, they don't mix. There is no two in between. That's lukewarm. So I continue to go through these same passages and the same gospel over and over, because there is nothing else. There's only one gospel, brothers and sisters. Do you understand that? There's only one gospel. There is no other gospel than the one that's unchanged. The books that I speak in here, that's why we don't speak out of these any other books. I seldom even speak out of the Old Testament. I can and do, but my focus is this covenant, because this is my only way to Father. I'm not under the law. Remember, I'm under a spiritual covenant. I'm going to be at the wedding. I don't know if I'll be a bride or not. I know the bridegroom's coming. He said, purify yourself as he purified himself. Maranatha until he returns. Have extra oil and be burning bright, and trim your lamps, because nobody knows the day or the hour of the shofar, the seventh ram's horn, the great and dreadful day of the Lord. That's the wedding feast of the Lamb. That's judgments, brothers, sisters. That's where everybody will pass through that book. It doesn't matter if they have a belief or a thought or they have whatever, all will pass through the book of judgments at one time. So that's the beautiful thing about coming to this ministry is, we learn together that there's no gods in the sky. No, people don't die and go to the sky. Heaven's not in the sky. And then you're not going to find that anywhere else. I know that Brother Jim is excellent at his teaching with the gospel, but there are some things I really wish that it's okay. He's not a magi. He's very gospel focused. And remember, the gospel is in the stars, brothers, sisters. The gospel has been written in the firmament. And I've showed you that as well. So that's the blessing that you don't get from Brother Jim Brown, that I'm not Grace and Truth Ministries. This is High Desert Faith and Truth. Although I mirror the gospel, I couldn't mirror Brother Jim's teachings. Hell, no way. I look like I don't know nothing compared to Brother Jim. I mean, I obviously love the gospel, but I can't share the gospel like he does. He is a walking, talking, living concordance. He knows where these passages are at in the book, and he can quote the sister chapter to every one, or there are more. Like I said, if you'd actually sit down with your concordance and study one word at a time, you would see that you'll learn a lot more if you don't try to just bite off more than you can chew. It'd be better sometimes, honestly, to just sit down and take some time, get away from Pastor Revelation and go see Pastor Brother Jim Brown and spend 3 hours with one of his teaching. You'll learn more in 3 hours than you did in the last 10 years. I don't care which Bible study you went to. Nope. I don't care if you think you got the best Bibles. No, you didn't. You didn't learn nothing compared to what you'd learn in a 3-hour, lesson that Brother Jim will give you for free. He'll send you 2 to 3 of them a month. No charge. No charge. And you can put them away and archive them for when SHTF and you still can produce some power. You can watch that when there's no internet. You'll still have Brother Jim's teachings, because I'm not going to be here. I don't put out teachings. I disappear. You got to just remember what the memories we had. We'll have to see each other on the other side. Brother Jim cemented a legacy. So the cloud goes down, I'm out. Remember? No mas. Get watered. No mas. Well, fire this time. So he's going to bring the fire. That's what's going to take down the web. So I hope you're ready for that too. We're supposed to have our loins girded in his service, and he would be telling you to have extra oil. So that extra oil can mean many things, brothers and sisters. It's not just oil for your lamps. It's, extra oil. 100,000 gallons of water filtration for under 25, 30 bucks. I don't know what the current price of this is now, probably under 25 bucks. For the rest of your life, you could take care of that for the price of two Starbucks coffees and a tip. Maybe just the tip on one. Yeah, that's right. The old covenant. We're not under the old covenant. Misplaced. Don't let anybody put you, and don't do it to yourself. We do it to ourselves. We rip Christ down from the tree he hung on and put ourselves back with the old laws of flesh. When we condemn ourselves, when we condemn others, that's putting somebody under the old law, of Old Testament. There's one law, right? No, Father's the one who condemns. Remember, we used to have a different law. Eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth, Now he says, let vengeance be mine. So we don't get that under this covenant. So absolutely. Thank you so much for saying that it's very important. We understand this covenant. We do this. We will be our biggest enemy. When he says in Matthew 10:34 through 39, do not think I came to bring peace. I came to bring a sword of division. Okay. He said, I came to separate, and he said, a man's enemies, right, will be one of his own household. I come to separate a son against his father, a mother against her daughter, a mother-in-law against her father-in-law. A man's enemies will be one of his own household. That is you. I am my own worst nightmare, my own biggest enemy. Self-will, brothers and sisters. Try to remember that, okay? Let Father's will be done. Thy kingdom come. That's what we're shooting for. That's what this is all about. Thy kingdom come. That is the seventh shofar. That is the ram's horn. That is the final trump. That is when judgments, and we will be with Father, with Shiloh. He redeems the bride. He calls their name out in that book of life. This is what this test is about. This testament. He was the testor of that will. He made a new, not of the old covenant. He blotted out all the laws of flesh. He didn't, remember, he didn't abolish the law. He blotted out all laws of flesh. That's why he said, do not avenge yourself. Do not condemn them. Let vengeance be mine, saith the Lord. Let vengeance be mine. You must turn your cheek, be meek, not weak. He didn't say you had to let somebody beat the snot out of you. Come in and rape your wife and steal your, he didn't say that. Don't just fight over dirt, but, meek and weak are two different things. And so there is a time, brothers, sisters, okay, but we must turn our cheek 490 times because we are the 490 gospel. We are the 7 times 70 gospel in this ministry. We are under that covenant because they didn't let the land lie fallow for 490 years and rest. And he's given us that rest, brothers and sisters. Yes, you have the right to defend yourself, Nathan. You do. But don't beat the snot out of somebody, too. Don't break the brakes off somebody because you can, too. Okay? Let Father, don't, if somebody's going to cause harm to you and you think they're you, see, that's under Title 18, the original Title 18 statute, the one that was adjudicated through the House, Congress, and Senate. Look at that Title 18. Under your Fourth Amendment, you have the right to deem the force necessary to eliminate whatever, if you cause that they're going to cause threat to your house, persons, papers, or effects. You have the right under Title 18 to defend and use the force you deem necessary. So please be careful with that force. I consider that to be like a loaded gun on safety. Of course you can use it but have some reserve, if you will. Okay, even if you come into that, if that makes sense. Okay. Yeah, don't lie with the beast. Don't sup with vipers. Don't cast your pearls in the mud. That's right, Undercat. Don't sup with vipers. He says, remember, you knew I was a snake before you let me in, and then he let the bite in. He's poly, many ticks like bloodsuckers, Democrips and Republicans, all these people who support this system. Father hated, through Christ, he sent his son and he turned over the money changer tables. Remember, he whipped the people. He got physical. And this testament, we're not supposed to be physical. So that's kind of a, showing you that there is a time and let vengeance be mine. So don't be whipping people, if you will, but Father whipped the people for, selling those doves because of the exchange rate. They were from the money of the old to the new. And it was, you've turned my Father's house into a den of thieves. So don't let anybody steal your crown, brothers and sisters. I don't care about these worldly things. Your crown. That is your prize. Revelation 3:11, I come quickly, let no one take your crown. That's who's going to take it right there. The king of the abyss, no knowledge. My people shall perish for lack of abyss. I will throw them in the abyss. Hell's not a place. Hell's not a space. Hell is knowledge. It's the word bathos, busos, or bis. In Revelation 9:11, they have a king over them. The king of the abyss, a messenger, an angel, Apollyon, the sun god. He said he would. He said he'd come like a thief in the night. Cat, did he not? Yes, he did. I come like a thief, like a woman in labor. And then it would be sorrows. Once it comes, it's not going to slow down. It might pull back. Don't fall asleep because it's going to come on stronger. There'll be a crowning moment. Right, ladies? Have you ever had a child? That's the birth, remember? The wedding. Here we are again. Brothers, sisters, this is such a beautiful time to be a witness. It's difficult. It's hard to watch. The great falling away. Men's hearts will be waxed cold from this word. They don't want this truth. But the people who do, they are hungry for it. They can't get enough of it. They want more of it. And I know that, brothers. Just have to try to remind myself, we should do more gospel, but we got to speak up about this beast. You understand? We got to speak up about this beast system. This is the one that's enslaving nations. It's the corporation, the abomination, the corporation America, and all its tentacles with the United Nations and NATO and 1,000 military bases and 180 countries, brothers, sisters. That's all of the countries. So call it like it is. You got to call the tea kettle black. You know what I'm saying? Oak Ridge taxidermist. Oak Ridge. Is that like Oak Ridge, Oregon? There's an Oak Ridge, Oregon. So we got to put that up for there. Look at this. Look at this mount over here. Looks like the Jägermeister over there, but we did, because that is Father. Father is Aries. Father is the place of rest, the tabernacle. I'm going to my Father's house, where my Father's house is at. That's the tabernacles. That's Aries. That's fire, brothers, sisters. You don't know. I'm a magi. I'm here to tell you. He sends his messengers, angels, angelos, messengers. Father is fire. Father is fire, baby. He brings the fire. Remember, I am the Aleph. I am the creator. I am the light. I am the original. I am the separator. I'm the one who condemns. You get to judge, brothers, sisters, under this covenant. Father, judge, thou shalt be judged. You'll be judged by the agape that you go by. So if you go by some corporation, you support that. When you pass, Christ stood up to the corporation. They jailed him. Christ would be in jail right now for standing up against America and what's going on in this country. I'm 100% certain of that with all my eternal soul that never ends. I don't die. I only die to flesh daily, but when this flesh, this breath is gone, I don't die. Time is a doorway. It's an illusion. If you never end, then it never begins and it never ends. It's the Ouroboros, time overlapping, eating itself. What do you know about that? That's the halo, like Saturn, like the ring. Most time. Hello! You know nothing of this time. Time is not some hand or number on a wall or a clock. There's a firmament above your head. Remember, I'm a magi, and it tells the firmament, declares his handiwork day after day, night after night. It doesn't have to say anything, right? Like a clock tells time. You guys are silly. That's all right. Let's get back to this, back to the future. Where was I at? Back in time. All right. I could never say any of this on a psychological mental evaluation. I would never pass it. So I'd have to say it's, never mind. Why are you looking at your, I used to do that when I used sales. Like, dude, you don't even have to watch them. Why I got to go? I'm in a hurry. So. Sign of the prophet Jonah. Connection. Thank you. And I've given you, remember, I'm going to put my shirt on. Heck yeah, it's starting to cool off. Is it puppy time? Feels like almost puppy time. Whoa, look at them dark skies over there. And we're in the zone. Get in the zone. Auto zone. All right. Yep, it's puppy time. It's puppy time. Yes, it's kitty time. It's my little kitty pea. It's my little kitty pea. She's the one I love. Didn't like it. No. All right. I got to take care of my mules here. I got my little kitten mule. You're such a sweet. Look at this little girl. This is Juniper. She's Junipers, huh? Dad loves the juniper trees. She's the best girl in the whole wide world that I ever did have, and she has the best tail in the wide world. So we got to go feed the kitties. Look at this tail. It's got little whites. All right, get back, puppy dogs. You eat. We are, huh? The last generation. There's no doubt I can declare that because I'm a mag. I've already showed you that. You can go back on this channel and through Melchizedek, Jupiter, its place of rest, tabernacle, Aries. You won't to seeing the last generation. You'll be too old to be in this generation. I've already done all the study on that. The Magi were watching this celestial star right here, the greatest of the Jovian gas giants, the second largest star in our solar system, right? In the this star right here, it's already made its pass. So if you were a certain age and you saw the birth in 1948 of the nation Israel, when this comes back around, you'll be past the age. So we are the remnant. I'm certain of that by the celestial firmament marker. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you're lost. I understand. Aries is the place of rest. That is the tabernacle that I was just telling you about. I'm a Magi. I'm telling you about this gospel in the stars. This was left. They formed this nation of Israel by this star right here and this star right here, a triple conjunction, which is unheard of in record, okay, in the Yuga cycles, in the Kali Yuga cycles. Gee, I wonder why I was born in Kali. Okay, but anyways, right on the wall. So the triple conjunction in Aries back in 1939 is how they formed the nation of Israel. Understand? In 1948, because they knew of this Star of David. They knew of the Revelation 12 sign. They knew of the Shiloh. They knew the Shiloh. They knew of these star markers, the enemy footstool. You're missing all these celestial from even before Christ was born, brother, sister. And understanding. That's why Father birthed me as the Magi to be able to these same star markers as we've trekked through the stars here into this what you would call future time, if you will, and we are now seeing these same exact star markers and the whole world's missing them. So if you've been blessed to come into this ministry, it's because Father's put your eyes. You might fall on deaf ears. You might not have the eyes to see what I'm telling you, but this is the place of rest. This is the tabernacle. When we saw that triple conjunction of Saturn and Jupiter, the conjunction, like a star upon a star, like an eclipse.